What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I gotta have that Teej pack. Teej makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Teej Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Teej Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Teej Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a Dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Teej Hanley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a Dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Teej pack. Feel the Teej, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. It is Friday, September 15th, 2023, year of our Lord. And I am very, very, very excited to be able to kick it with you guys today. I see y'all up in the building. What up, what up, what up? Kicking it with y'all. I appreciate y'all. It is Friday, and so you know what we do on Friday. You know what we do on Friday? I switched it up on y'all yesterday, and I let y'all cam up. I said I gotta see what the sentiment of the people is on these specific subjects, and we've talked about a lot this week. We've talked about a whole lot this week, and so I am going to allow for everybody. You know what we do on Friday. For those of you that are new here, I am going to allow for people to be able to come up on the panel. You do not have to be on camera in order to express your sentiments. But I am going to allow for people to come up on the camera or just make a phone call and express however it is that they feel. Obviously, I'm going to prioritize those that have a different perspective or a disagreement with me, just so I can make sure that we all on the same page, because I'm a man of the people and you guys are the ones that keep me elevated. And so what would I be without you? Why wouldn't I take the feedback of the people, especially if they disagree with me? Anybody is welcome to call in and say whatever it is that they disagree with, especially the people that feel as though I'm wrong. And the conversation will go however it is that you feel like it should go. If you got that negative energy, I'm going to reciprocate. If you got that good energy and you just want to have a conversation, I'm going to reciprocate. But either way, we're going to have a great show. Because it is Friday. A lot of y'all got paid yesterday. Some of y'all got paid today. That direct deposit hit. Some of y'all get paid next week. Shout out to y'all. I got paid yesterday. I don't even know what it is. I don't even check the amount no more. Make sure that y'all maxing out on y'all 401k going into the end of the year. Make sure that y'all maxing out on y'all 401k going into the end of the year. We want to make sure that we bag chasing, that we're reducing our tax burden. Make sure you align with your tax professional. If you're not a part of the Patreon, the link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. We can point you in the right direction, especially over in the Discord. Shout out to Natasha. Shout out to all of my people that's a part of the Discord. Yeah, you said working so Anton is on the big screen this morning, Treese. I promise you I'm not gonna curse. Hey, put me on the screen in the church. Put me on the screen in the daycare. Put me on the screen at work. I promise you I'm not gonna get you fired. I promise you I'm not gonna get you. Now, when people cam up, you might want to put your headphones in because I can't control how they react to it. All I can do is make sure that we had this good energy all throughout the show. So we got a couple different subjects that we want to cover. We got some things that we want to address. We're going to get through those quickly. And then I'm going to drop the link in the chat for y'all to be able to cam up and say whatever it is that you want to say. Hey, my homegirl came through yesterday and she dropped me off this hoodie. For those of you that are on YouTube, make sure that you refresh. But it's dope. It's really dope. It's called Anna's World. Yeah. So she just dropped her first piece of merch. It's dope. Make sure you refresh because I put the link in the description for you guys to be able to go and pick that up. It's dope. And then she got the logo of the city on the front, especially for my Detroit people. She got some style on her. I didn't even realize that she had it on the side, too. Yeah, she got it on the side. That's dope. So shout out to Anna's World. We've actually been reconfiguring the studio, and I'm going to be wearing this shortly. We've been reconfiguring the studio to start manufacturing the merch. So I had to make sure that, you know, I got everything together. I got a big enough space where we do our own merch. So everything is in-house. We completely independent. We're not interdependent on anybody, but we completely independent. And so we got different spaces set up to where we actually manufacturing different merch. We might even be putting together merch for other people and be doing it that way. So you never know what's going to be happening. We always cooking. We always doing our thing. So shout out to everybody that's going to be getting the merch soon. I'm going to drop the exclusive for the Patreon members first, and y'all going to get that special discount for the merch that we drop. And we got to make sure it's right before we give it out to the people. We're not just going to put stuff out. We got to make sure that the designs is right. We was inspired by what it was that we seen over in Tokyo and Japan. They had some crazy styles, and so that's going to be dope. And so the new merch, the new lines is coming out, and that's going to be awesome. So thank you guys for always supporting and doing what it is that we do. Make sure that y'all tap into that Teej Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. That link is in the description. If you're rocking with any other Teej pack, then you're doing yourself a disservice. Yeah, and then I'm going to be in D.C. on November 4th for the Patreon meetup. So shout out to DC. November 4th, Patreon meetup. I just dropped the link in the Patreon about that. Make sure that you go and tap into that and give me the insight of whether or not you're going to be there so I can get a good idea of what I need the venue to be. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. I think we should go ahead and get started with the show because we got a lot to cover. So first and foremost, let me give an acknowledgement to Mike That Dude. Absolutely holding me down on Cash App. I got some new animations. We got some new things dropping next week. And we got Fight Club tonight. So it should be a great day. Sunny outside. Auto show is happening this weekend. I'm going to be in town. I don't even have to travel nowhere. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no idea what I'm going to do. If y'all want to get that Anna's World merch, the link is in the description on YouTube. I'm going to put it on Facebook when I get an opportunity. It's Anna's, ANNASWRLD.com. Anna's, ANNASWRLD.com. The link is in the description. Shout out to all of my people. Let's get to it. We got a lot to cover today. We got to go over the strike with the UAW. Shout out to all of my people on strike. I don't want to see y'all losing no paychecks, so hopefully they get that resolved. I want to go over the student loans. I want to go over Candace Owens, but I definitely want to get to Chicago. Chicago, you are at the front of the congregation for the rest of the year. We going to get to that. Let me get to some of the super chats. Shout out to my dog, Mike That Dude on Cash App, always holding me down. Blue Chip G is in the building, says Anton Daniels out here winning. Shout out to y'all. Hey, if y'all got any smoke, feel free to get Cam up a little later on in the show when I drop the link in the description. It's going to be a great show. Carolina's DJ K Smooth in the building says, peace, bro. Anton, firstly, today's descriptive word, vainglorious. What y'all know about X-Clan? What y'all know about vainglorious? What y'all know about X-Clan? They don't know nothing about the red, the white, the red, the black and the green sissies. See, listen. That was slightly before my time, but I had brothers that was 6 and 7 years older than me. So I was born in 82. My time was really starting to hit in the late 90s. That's when I really started getting into hip hop music. I was immersed in it all through the early 90s. So I was on that Tupacalypse Now. I was familiar with Special Ed and the DOC, and that's what my brothers and them put me on to. But a lot of y'all, listen, I am a hip hop historian. So when I tell y'all and I describe how this stuff has affected the culture, I'm telling you guys from a first perspective, like a first person perspective of how it was that I've seen things impact the way that we walk, we talk, we look, the way that we looked at women. All of that, right? Shout out to Carolina's DJ K Smooth says, secondly, get the likes up. Last but not least, happy solar return to my queen, empress, and best half, LaToya McGuinn. I love you, baby. I love you, baby. That's what he said. I love you, baby. Is that what he said? Shout out to you, the Carolina's DJ K Smooth. Van Glorious is in the building. Make sure y'all holler at my dog, Carolina's DJ K Smooth. That is so dope. Shout out to you. I appreciate you for holding me down, my friend. Antoine says, good morning, Anton. Do you have a book recommendation that builds great work habits because it comes naturally for me to go ham at work, but not on myself? Can you help with that? Oh, man. Send me a message inside of the Patreon. Send me a message inside of the Patreon, and then we're going to go over that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Antoine. I appreciate you. Or send me an email. Anton Daniels, 413@gmail.com. Anton Daniels. Hold on. Let me make sure that I put that in my notes to address that specifically. Anton Daniels, 413@gmail.com on an email, and I will definitely make sure that I respond to that ASAP and ensure that I give you guys the best information. I need to go back through my books and make sure that I got all of the right information for y'all. Don't worry about it. We're going to get to it. Don't worry about it. We're going to get to it, all right? Somebody said Atomic Habits. I have not read that book, but I've heard about it. Somebody said Atomic Habits. I have not read that book, but I've heard about it. So maybe that is a good recommendation. I know they got whole books. Luis got a book club inside of the Discord, inside of the Patreon, that whole 9 yards, right? So make sure that y'all go ahead and tap into that, and we're going to get there. We definitely are going to get there. Yes. All right. Let me get back to the show. Shout out to Antoine. I appreciate you, my friend. Ian says, I sent you a full-size run of my shirts a while ago. Wonder if you got a chance to see. Ian, send me an email. I'm going to make sure that I check that out. Shout out to Ian. I appreciate you. Also, Be More Hemi 392. Be More Hemi 392 says, I have to call you out. Yesterday you said, why do people care about other people's money? But you definitely care about what Devin Hanley spends his money on a few weeks ago. Okay, so let's address that. And you are more than welcome to be able to drop. Me and Devin Hanley had a spat on Instagram because Devin Hanley had some conversations about me, and so I had some responses to him. And so I told him, Lil Young G, you spending your money a little recklessly. You need to start investing your money a little bit differently. I know you're young. I know you think you're invincible. But let me make sure that I bring you to the front of the congregation since you got so much to say about what it is that we do over here on the Millionaire Morning Show. And so as a result, he went and fumbled the bag literally a week after that. And so we brought him to the front of the congregation to help him understand why he should do things differently. So you got to understand the history behind what you're saying. I want the young dude to win. I never counted his money. I just said it's a difference between old money and long money and what we getting over here. And you got a limited time span of how it is that you're going to make your money. So you better be careful and make sure that you hold yourself accountable and invest properly so that you have a career afterwards and you're not looking like one of these broke boxers that got to do a charity match in order to get your bags up. All right. So that's the context. Go ahead and keep bringing me to the front of the congregation and make sure that y'all jump on the live stream later on when you have something to say. You don't have to be on camera. You can come on camera, but I don't care nothing about what nobody making at all. Actually, I want y'all to win. I just want to make sure that you got the character and the understanding to go along with it so you ain't crashing out. All right? So make sure you understand the context, and I want y'all to continue to hold me accountable and bring me to the front of the congregation. Shout out to B More and Hemi 392. All right, so let's continue over. Let's continue on. Christian Bailey is in the building. Thank you, Christian Bailey, for continuing to hold me down with the 20 ball. Yeah. Shout out to Christian Bailey. Just came over and dropped that inside of the congregation plate. We appreciate you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to put my hoodie on shortly because I do think it's going to be one of them hoodie days. For some reason, I don't know. I can't predict it, but I do believe that this is going to be one of those hoodie days once I drop the link inside of the description and I drop it inside of the chat. Don't worry, we're going to get there. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. So first and foremost, the first person that we want to bring to the front of the congregation today. We want to address the auto worker strike. Don't worry, we got a full show for you today. Let's talk about the auto worker strike. When they first started negotiating, and you guys seen me have this conversation, and it wasn't popular to report on, and nobody was reporting on it except for me and the news and whatever it is, the local news that was happening, right? And I told you, I said, listen, I can tell the sentiment of the people that are negotiating this deal. It is going to be different from any other year. It's going to be different from any other year. And so for all of my auto workers, I hope you are informed. I hope that you know what you're doing. I hope you got your money saved up and you're ready to get on that picket line so you can get your checks every week or every 2 weeks or whenever it is that they send out them checks. I hope you're ready. Gird up. Ladies, get close to your husband. This is not the time to leave your husband. If you're working in a plant and you got a man and you think that you can talk any old kind of way to him, you're going to need him. You're going to need that man to hold you up and to hold you down. It's a lot of people that found their spouse on the workplace, in the workplace, and on the floor. A lot of people found their spouse and a person. Some of y'all not even married, but it's cool. You shacking up. I get it. It's 2023. You don't believe in the Bible. Some of you are shacking up with women that you found on the workplace floor. I remember when I was in a plant, it always used to be supervisors busting down the chicks that was on the floor. I don't know why. I always said don't mix business with pleasure. It always turned into a combustible situation. They always was giving that chick extra paychecks and extra time, even though she wasn't even on the job. I couldn't hate. I never said nothing about it. But it made for a difficult situation because the supervisor always wound up getting in trouble because he was busting a chick down that was on the floor. And then he would bust another chick down, and then she would find out about the other one. Next thing you know, he going into human resources, and it was just a bad situation. But a lot of people have plant wives, right? And so y'all becoming interdependent on each other. And so y'all don't really have no money in order to pay your bills the same way because your lifestyle elevated, your money elevated. And so you aligned your lifestyle with the money that you was making, and both of y'all on strike now. So now I'm praying for you. I went before God today and I said, Lord, let me bring my auto workers to your footsteps. Actually, I was praying to Jesus, right? Because I had to go through Jesus in order to you know what I'm saying? I had to talk to Jesus because Jesus is going to petition God on my behalf. I said, Jesus, you called me your friend. This is your humble servant, Anton from AntonDaniels.com. Let me go ahead and pray for my fellow auto workers because they know not what they do. They over here and doing their thing. They decided to strike when we had the most lucrative time to really put the city on a map. And we got the North American International Auto Show, and Tesla and Elon Musk is watching these people and he's saying, okay, cool. Yeah. Elon Musk said Tesla gonna win this because we're largely not unionized and we gonna send the UAW to play basketball in Pelican Bay. I'm gonna give you my thoughts, but let me go ahead and bring you up to speed of what's going on.
Breaking news overnight. Members of the United Auto Workers Union have gone on strike in the United States. They've shut down this morning 3 major plants, one from each of the Detroit Threes. It's known as that strike deadline passed at midnight Eastern. This is the very first time the union has taken job action against the big 3 Detroit automakers at the very same time.
Solidarity forever for the union makes us strong. Hell yeah!
So there was the scene a few hours ago outside a Ford assembly plant in Wayne, Michigan. That's just outside Detroit. About 1,300 UAW members are on strike at these 3 locations. There's a Stellantis in Toledo, Ohio, and a GM site in Missouri as well. The UAW president, Shawn Fain, showed up at the picket line in Michigan just after midnight.
Record profits equal record contracts. It's our time, and all we want is our share of equity. We're not asking to be millionaires. We're not asking to join the billionaire class. We're asking for our fair share of the fruits of our labor. They deserve it.
So the 3 locations on strike today, this is just a limited strike. It makes up just a fraction of the broad UAW membership. Other locations are working under an expired agreement for now, but the strike could expand nationwide. There we're looking at the plants. Let's just bring you in some live pictures. Just before we joined Steve Futterman, we were looking at Wayne, Michigan, just outside Detroit. That's the Ford plant, and of the limited number of strikers today, 3,300 are out walking the picket line at this particular Ford plant in Wayne, Michigan. Steve Futterman in front of a Ford facility in Los Angeles. So, Steve, on the breaking news this morning, give us more detail.
Yes.
The contract demands on the part of the union, what is the UAW asking for? It helps us understand why this is so unprecedented.
Well, that's right, Heather. As you mentioned, normally the striking is aimed towards one of the big 3. Normally the UAW targets one of the big 3, and that's where the walkout, the strike is aimed at. But this time, all 3 are being affected. But as you mentioned, not everyone's walking out. There's more than 140,000 UAW workers in the U.S. This is affecting, as you mentioned, at those 3 locations in Ohio, Michigan, and Missouri, around 13,000. So this is a strategy they're taking right now. As you mentioned, lots of issues being discussed here. The big one, of course, not surprisingly, money. The union wants an increase of 36% over the next 4 years, while the big 3 are offering around 20%. So if the 2 sides reach an agreement, you would expect one side to go up, one side to come down, some meeting in the middle there. But for the moment, that's the big issue. Also, electronic vehicles. The auto industry is moving, as we know, away from the traditional internal combustion vehicles towards electronic vehicles. That could displace many of these union workers. They want some protection. So those are really the 2 big issues right now. Many people wondering, what are the workers saying? Here's what we found from a few of them who do support the strike.
I think the UAW will take care of me, and I hope the company will too.
People have been underpaid for a while. Benefits have been crazy, so this is definitely something that's going to help everyone.
We deserve our raise. We deserve I think everybody out here does. We come to work every day, we work hard, we make sure quality is right.
So let me ask y'all a question, right? She said, we come to work every day, we work hard, and our quality is right. So let me preface this conversation by saying that I hope they get whatever it is that they negotiate. You get what you negotiate, not necessarily what you think that you deserve. You get what you negotiate, not necessarily what you think that you deserve. All right? So let me give you my perspective before we really start to deep dive into this show. A, go get your bag. B, these demands are crazy. In my professional opinion, I believe that these demands are crazy. Not the fact that you may want a 36% raise. It was 46% when I first started studying. I'm not going to let y'all finesse me and tell me that the numbers is off. No, it was 46% at first. Now they're saying 36%. Cool. I'm not tripping at the fact that you want a 36% raise across the board for all 140,000 workers. Get your bag. Get your bag. But here's the other part of the conversation that we're not having a discussion about. 32-hour work week. Why they not highlighting that and putting that at the front of the con? Where in the world, where in the United States of America, where in your state are they having a 32-hour work week and you think that that also justifies a 36% pay raise? Let me reiterate this again. Where in the world do you get a 32-hour work week and you can justify it with a 36% pay raise? That's A. B, you do not get credit for doing your job right and doing it correctly. Let me say it one more time. You should not, that's like me getting credit for being a father. You're supposed to have good quality. Don't you want your company to still stay in business? Don't you want to have a job tomorrow? Ain't that what they hired you to do, to actually do your job correctly and not have messed up work? Not have recalls every single day? Like, I don't believe that you should get rewarded for doing what you was hired to do in the first place. You don't even want to work 40 hours. You want a 36% raise. Cool. Get your bag. Go and get your money. And then another thing that they address in this particular video, EVs. They want to guarantee that they have work going forward in the future. So they're not necessarily trying to align with the vision of the company, because I'm going to just be honest with you. EVs are changing the game. One of the reasons why automakers are pushing so hard, because you only look at it from a worker's perspective. You don't actually look at it holistically. One of the reasons why EVs are being pushed so hard is that even though battery technology, it takes a lot for research and development on the front end, on the back end, as they continue to scale and as they continue to improve battery technology, what happens is it becomes cheaper to produce. Also, significantly less parts. Now that you don't have to worry about quality as far as internal combustion engines, and you're literally having less than thousands of less parts having to be put together, which means that you need less workers, less manufacturing, less facilities, more sharing amongst other automakers and technology, which means that there's less availability for workers or less need for workers to have to do the same work that they was doing before. I just read yesterday, and I was looking at Apple News. They have now developed battery technology, and they've just broken a world record in which they were able to go over 1,300 miles on one charge for an electric car. 1,300 miles over one charge for an electric car. And they want to become less dependent, which would create less volatility for world's oil, and no longer have to be subjected to what's going on in other countries such as Saudi Arabia and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of different moving parts that's playing a role in this. And again, I am in support of the union going out and getting a bag. I'm just going to break it down from you honestly, from an objective perspective, to help you to understand how you need to do things a little bit differently. Stop depending on them to work there for the next 30 years. If it happens, dope. I'm going to be reading those super chats shortly. Thank you, Jacquel, for continuing to support the platform. If it happens, cool. If it happens, cool. Listen, every single day, Chinese automakers, Tesla, Volkswagen over there in Germany, who owns Lamborghini, Audi, Volkswagen, Porsche. Porsche is probably going to break off and become its own company, and that they issue or take it to an IPO in order to continue to raise money. Every single day, competition is ramping up. More, harder, stronger. And then you got the Japanese automakers, and they doing their thing with Honda. The Korean automakers over there with Hyundai and Kia, they over there kicking butt. This is a worldwide game. And so nobody can guarantee you anything, but one thing that they can do is give you the bag. But then if you add value into the company, it's no way that they can walk away from what it is that you do. So I am in agreement that they should be seeking a bigger bag, but I'm also in disagreement that they don't really understand that you're in a global game, that you are in a global game. The only way that manufacturing is going to come back to the U.S. is if they make it technologically available to where they have less workers to do more things in which they can then pay more money, because it has to make sense from a business perspective. It has to make sense from a business perspective. I know a lot of people say, oh, I don't like electric cars. Listen, it's coming. It's already here. It is happening. The less that you embrace technology, the more that you're going to become a dinosaur, and you're going to find yourself on the outside looking in talking about, I don't like what's going on. It is already happening. I seen the pivot away from manufacturing over into technology a long time ago, which is one of the reasons why I made the adjustment in my own career path. Because I said, I am going to dress for the job that I want, not the job that I have. I am going to dress for the job that I want, not the job. I'm not going to be dependent. I tell people on coaching calls all the time, I am not defined by my job. When people walk up to you every day, right? And they say, hey, what's going on? Who is this? And one of the things that people like to do is say, this is such and such. And what do you do for a living? That's one of the first things that they ask you. When you on a date, in order to try to, it's the same thing as trying to find out a woman's body count. You don't ask her directly, but you just ask her indirectly, and then you try to mine out and source the information that you need in order to make informed decisions, right? So if you're on a date with a person and you say, hey, what do you do? And they say, oh, okay, I'm the VP of manufacturing over at Ford Motor Company, then that means that you get to the bag. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have to ask you how much you make. You don't have to ask her what her body count is. You ask her questions that then better understand exactly who she is to make an informed decision as to whether or not a lot of people is busting her down. You pay attention to all of the other things that's going on around the conversation. And so I don't want you guys to then be defined by your role. Hey, what's going on? What do you do? Oh, I work for Ford Motor Company and such and such and such. I work for GM and I work at the Chrysler Assembly Plant over at Stellantis or whatever. You're not defined by your job. You should be more than that. The job is a way for you to then get the shovel to then be able to develop the assets to live the life that you want. I don't want you guys, I want you to get your raise, but I don't want you to be interdependent on the automakers in order for you to continue to rock out for the rest of your life. Lucid, Rivian, over there in Plymouth, it's a lot of places that's changing the game. It's a limit to the amount of technology or how far you can take these internal combustion engines. It's already changing. It's evolving. These automakers don't even look at themselves as automakers anymore. They call themselves technology companies.
And Heather, one thing that the union is pointing out is that the big three have been making bundles of money, billions of dollars in profits each year. They say they want their share of the pie. They deserve it.
So I'm thinking of people looking to buy a new vehicle. What kind of stockpiles do the big three have, Steve? What happens if this strike drags on?
Well, that's the big issue. If it drags on, for the moment, people are going to be fine. There is enough of a stock at most vehicle dealerships for people to buy cars if they want it. But if this strike goes on week after week after week, which is always possible, we've seen very long strikes with the UAW historically. Well, after a few weeks, you could start seeing the inventory decrease. You could see the price of new cars go up, and that would also probably affect used cars. Another ancillary issue, what will it be for like restaurants that are in the areas where these auto plants are, other stores? Well, they will be affected as well. So this could be very, very tough nut to crack for people who work in the areas. And of course, finally, the dealers get their parts from various industries across the U.S. The people who supply the parts to the big three, they will be impacted as well.
Let me give you the perspective of CEO. So we already heard the Ford CEO yesterday, right? Jim Farley. And now I want to give you Mary Barra, right? Mary Barra is the CEO of General Motors. She has been leading the company, and she has been doing so successfully. I have to give her credit. And so this actually speaks to the fact that women are capable of being able to lead a company. I just wouldn't suggest so because it comes with a lot of other headaches that come along with it as far as a relationship. So be very careful about talking to those type of women. However, that's not what we're talking about right now. I want to get her perspective. Now we've got the UAW members' perspective, and I want to get Mary Barra's perspective.
Live pictures of auto workers who have walked off the job at 3 assembly plants overnight after the UAW and Detroit automakers could not agree on a new contract. 12,000 workers on strike against the big three. That's Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis, makers of Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep. The union wants better benefits and higher pay in line with CEO pay raises in recent years. And Chris Van Cleve is in Detroit with one of those CEOs, General Motors CEO Mary Barra. Chris, over to you.
Tony, good morning. We want to get right to Mary. Mary, thank you for being with us here on CBS Mornings. Having your plant in Missouri offline, 4,000 workers or so on strike, what does that do for General Motors' ability to keep production lines moving?
Well, you know, at Wentzville, the line's not moving, and we build three very important products there. Just launched the Chevrolet Colorado and the GMC Canyon. These are mid-sized trucks that are in very, very strong demand. They're great vehicles, as well as our cargo van that's been in strong demand for over a decade. So this is going to have an impact, especially when you look at the demand of these vehicles. You know, we have some in the field, and we're going to continue to work to meet customer needs, but this has an impact. In addition, some of our plants, even assembly plants, have what we call contiguous stamping plants next to them that might service other plants. So this is going to have an impact probably beyond just Wentzville.
So what she's basically saying is that the targeted strikes, which can expand over into different plants and different products, it's a trickle-down effect. Even the stamping plants that they have in those particular facilities also service other plants. And then they also targeted large workforces and facilities that also produce a product that is in high demand, which ultimately can affect the bottom line of the company. And so they're targeting all three companies all at the same time, which is historic and which is something that does not happen, has not happened according to what it is that's being reported by the news. But they're targeting specific plants in order to make an impact so that they can hopefully come to the negotiating table and meet that demand of that 32-hour work week, that 36% pay raise, those benefits, the two-tier system elimination, so on and so forth, right? And so she's basically breaking down, very well, might I add, she's basically breaking down how this thing is starting to impact and why they're targeting these specific plants, because they're trying to hit them where it hurts without completely crippling a company, because a crippled company is then no good for the workers, right?
You know, I think one of the things that people have heard the union say is that if there was a strike, it was because automakers didn't come to the table with a good enough deal. How do you respond to that?
Well, first of all, we've been at the table since July 18th. We received over 1,000 demands, and I'm proud of both bargaining teams that they've been working through all of those demands. We put 4 offers on the table. Each one we iterated after listening, because part of negotiation is problem solving. Understand the challenge and find a solution that works for everyone. I'm very proud of the offer that we put on the table last night or yesterday, because it's a record from a gross wage increase perspective in our 115-year history, as well as maintaining strong health care, world-class health care that our employees enjoy. And I think one thing that's very important is from a job security perspective. In this contract, we have product and work for every single one of our plants. And that didn't happen by accident. It happened because a few years back, as we started to plan for this historic transformation from internal combustion vehicles to EVs, that we would have work for all of our people, because we wanted them to come along with us on this journey. It's one of the reasons why we developed power units internally, so they could be built at the plants where today an internal combustion engine is built. So we've been working on this very, very hard. So, we have a historic offer on the table. We think we're at the table now, ready to keep going and get this resolved as quickly as possible.
She's a very, very intelligent CEO, and you can tell that this is the difference between somebody that's just a worker and a person that actually understands business. Think about what she just said, okay? She said that, listen, we understand that jobs are going away and we're going to need less people to do some of the same amount of things that we do here in the United States of America, and so we made an informed decision. First and foremost, we've been at the table since July 18th. We didn't just come to the table. So the things that they're demanding of us, it's a little bit disingenuous, because they're trying to act like this is the last minute historic deal that we need to get done. We've been talking to them for months, okay? She also said it's not just 4 or 5 different issues. They put on the table a list of over 1,000 demands. They put on the table a list of over 1,000 demands. Now, here's the key. And this is one of the things that I want to hit upon. List of over 1,000 demands, right? Why are the union members only informed of the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 main issues. And why are they only informing them and giving them education as to those issues are the biggest thing? Oh, they not meeting our 46% pay raise. Oh, they didn't hear us on a 32-hour work week. They gave over 1,000 demands. And this is not to just GM. This is to every automaker, right? And so as they then start to come to the negotiating table, there's more than just those 4 or 5 different things that's being communicated about, but these are the things that, and this is what you call propaganda. This is what you call advertisement. This is the same thing that happens during election seasons, right? They have these proposals. They have the Build Back Better plan. They have Biden's infrastructure deal in which they pushed hundreds of different things inside of those little things that Congress members and Senate was wrangling over behind the scenes, but the thing that they presented to the people was only 4 or 5 different main points for you to argue over, right? 4 or 5 different main points. I wonder how many UAW members, and this is not to get at them, this is just to have a conversation. I wonder how many UAW members are actually familiar with what all those 1,000 demands are. What pamphlets, what sign, and how well do they communicate with their members to absolutely understand exactly what they're asking for so they can make a more informed decision when they vote on whatever the historical contract that they're then advertising to their members? Just curious. Think about what she also said, and this is why understanding is key, right? Because you only want to hear it from one side and you don't hear it from both sides. Again, I want you to get your money, but I want you to understand what's being communicated at the table on your behalf, right? So think about this, right? She said, listen, we know that it takes less to build and it can be much more profitable when it comes to moving over into EVs away from internal combustion engines. That's happening. It's not something to debate. In order for us to stay competitive, we got to do it. We have to do it, right? She knows this. And so what they did was, instead of how they usually do things, which is historically outsourced different things and then they decided to bring all of that in-house. She said, we're not going to outsource a lot of the different things that we do because what happens is we'll need less demand from the people that's already in our fold. And that would mean more layoffs, natural attrition. It would need less workers. But we want to bring manufacturing back into our own plant and our own state. So what we did was we developed it and we bring it in-house and we're going to manufacture it ourselves, which is also going to take training. It's also going to take a new skill set. It's also going to take more reinvestment into the people so that they're able to maintain these jobs. And so what they're doing is they're developing it in-house in order to bring work back to Americans and back here. And that takes money. It takes money in training and research and development. It costs money in order to get approved over into, the different regulatory bodies over in every single 50 states. And a lot of people are not familiar with all of this investment and all of the billions of dollars you have to allocate in order to do so, right? And so she's basically educating you. She's giving you the game. Whether she's right or wrong, that's up for you to determine, but she's giving you the game on why they're doing things the way that they're doing it and what it's going to cost them and why they're making the offers that they're making. Okay? I might be educating y'all a little bit more than what your union reps is doing.
Your offer was about a 20% pay raise in addition to what you were just talking about there. The union's been asking for up to a 40% pay raise. They want a 4-day work week, return of pensions, among other things. Why not just give them what they're asking for?
Because one of the most important things in my responsibility that I take very seriously.
Listen, hold on. Let me back this up. 40% pay raise.
Just give them what they're asking.
Up to a 40% pay raise. See, they want to throw that number 36%. No, they want 46%. Shorter work week and return of pensions. You can forget it. Returning of pensions is over. Pensions are one of the things that killed automakers back in the 2000s as to why they had to file for bankruptcy in the first place. Gosh, I hate to be going through this, but this is the Millionaire Morning Show. Returns of pensions. You know why they want to return to pensions? Because they then gave the UAW the ability to be able to manage their own workers' monies, but they want to saddle that back on the company because the UAW can't do it effectively. That's the truth. Pensions are a thing of yesteryear. That's what they replaced 401ks for. They want to be able to work 30 years, retire, and then get a check for the rest of their life. That is over. That's even over what most police officers don't even depend on pensions. United States postal workers don't even depend on pensions. Pensions is over. then that means that you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, and the people that come in after you are then going to have to work their butts off in order to ensure that you got a comfortable retirement. It's over. It's over. You can forget it. Throw that away. I don't know if they just put that on there as a bargaining chip, but returning a pension in a shorter work week, both of those things is out the door for me. Both of those things is completely out the door. You can forget it. Ain't nobody giving out no pension no more. You ain't part of the military. It's crazy.
Because one of the most important things in my responsibility that I take very seriously, excuse me, is we have to make sure the company's going to succeed for the next 115 years.
Yeah.
And that means we need to invest in the products you see around me. If we don't invest in new products and have products customers want to buy, that impacts the number of vehicles we build, which directly impacts how many people are part of our manufacturing team. So we need to be able to keep investing in new products. And right now we're at a peak because we're investing not only in next generation internal combustion engine vehicles to make sure the customer demand is still there, along with improving fuel efficiency, but also in brand new EVs. So this is a critical juncture where investment.
So what a lot of people don't understand, and I wish I could educate my fellow UAW members. I used to be a part of Local 600 over there in Dearborn, Michigan. What a lot of people don't understand is that when they say, yeah, we're making record profits. The company is making record profits. We want to share in those profits. Let me tell you what is really happening, okay? They're leveraging the amount of money that they're making, and they had to get rid of cars because they weren't even profitable in the U.S. anymore. They're leveraging the amount of money that they're making in order to invest in a technology that's not even profitable for them right now. So when you see a lot of these automakers outside of Tesla that are American automakers, and even over in Volkswagen, they're not making money on EVs right now. They're losing money on every single EV until they can drive the cost by continuing to ramp up production and then research and development in order to make sure that they can get it at a price point that's both consumable for the consumer and that the company can make a profit. You'd be lucky in the auto industry in order to get a 10% margin. What is a 10% margin? That means that if you sell a car for $100,000, you'd be lucky to make $10,000 off of it in order to be able to substantiate all of the costs that go into it. Manufacturing vehicles, shipping, workers, CEOs, pay, so on and so forth, right? Most automakers make less than a 10% margin on the product that they sell. And that's why they have to scale so much. That's why they have to sell so many of them. That's why they have to manufacture them for as long as they do before they start to put research and development in order to redo the next product, because they have to then use the money that they're making right now in order to invest over into EVs, which is not even profitable until they can drive the cost out, okay? So my point is, if you look at Tesla's early development, somebody said it right now, all throughout the first 10, 15 years of the company, they weren't making money. Their stock price was largely based off of, or how the company was priced was based off of what their potential profits would be, and the fact that they looked at themselves as a technology company. There was building infrastructure. We still got to build infrastructure for all of these EVs that are coming online. That's why you got GM, Honda, Toyota, they all partnering in order to try to build more infrastructure, and they're trying to leverage Biden's infrastructure plan in order to get money to do the things that Tesla has already done. They're behind the wall. So when you understand the business aspect of why companies, shout out to you, I'm going to be reading those super chats shortly. When you understand the business concept of why automakers are doing what they're doing, or why they're making so much profit, or why they're now allocating so much money over into what's still a losing proposition as far as how many EVs that they're selling, and they're trying to scale it up. They have to do advertising, marketing, so on and so forth. What happens is, because these workers don't understand that, they don't even really understand that they're cutting off their own hand when they're saying we want to share in the profits. What you're basically saying is you don't want a job in the future. You want to mortgage your future in order to make sure that you feel good right now. Again, get your bag, but also understand the business concepts behind why they're offering you what they're offering you, and how much belt tightening that they're going to have to do in order to ensure that they have future product and ensure that the company continues to be profitable long after you're retired. Pensions, out the door. 32-hour work week? No. Can you get a raise? Absolutely. Will that be passed over into the consumer in order to pay for your raise? 100%. Most cars are going to be, on average, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 in order to be able to get you your raise. I'm trying to help you to understand the auto industry. I want you to understand the business behind it. Less than 10% margin. How does Anton then make the decision of what he going to invest in? I fully understand every aspect of the business. I understand leadership. I understand suppliers. I understand the logistics. I understand the margins. I understand whether or not they issue a dividend or they reinvest into the country or in the company. I understand EVs. I understand internal combustion engines. I understand the consumers. I understand affordability. I understand the loans of what they issuing, of how many loans that they're issuing as subprime versus prime loans. I understand the interest rates. I understand whether or not each arm of each company is actually owned by the company itself. When you look at GMAC, when you look at Ford Credit, when you look at Toyota, when you look at the business concepts of how Tesla does their thing, of whether or not they're actually leasing out the car to where you can buy it after you do right. What is the come on, man. It's too much information. Y'all are making informed or uninformed decisions based off of a limited amount of information that's being advertised for you in order to push an agenda, not necessarily the thing that's best for you. When you look to invest in a company, join the Patreon. I dropped a video, a basic video, and I'm going to do a deeper dive on a future video that I'm working on. I did a video inside of the Patreon of the 8 things that I look for when I'm looking to invest in a company, right? And don't look at it as a stock market. Look at it as a company that you otherwise wouldn't have had access to if it was not privately owned, but it's a publicly owned company, which means that you have all of the information, the data, and then you have to deep dive a little bit further in order to understand whether or not it's best for you for the next 10 to 15 years to invest in it. This strike is one of the factors that I take into consideration of whether or not I want to invest in a United States automaker. How will this contract then affect their unionization efforts to the foreign automakers that's down south? There's UAW is still trying to get into those plants. They have been for decades. Unsuccessfully, might I add, but they have been for decades, right? It's so many different things that factor into the profitability of a company, and y'all don't remember what took them down in the first place. Pensions, overburden, healthcare, producing products that wasn't profitable, right? That's why they introduced clunkers for cars back when Obama was in office in order to incentivize you to buy things. And then Obama would continue with basically to issue grants over to the automakers. They was giving federal money over to the automakers, which was one of the reasons why our debt is so out of control, right? Tell your people to come look at this video. Tell your people to subscribe to the Millionaire Morning Show. I'm going to teach you. Ain't nobody giving you this type of game. They can't break it down like this because they don't know. Very few people can get on a live stream, live, in real time, talking to you, responding to the chat as it comes up, and giving you the game in real time, not no prepared notes, not none of that stuff. Very few people can talk off the top of their head because they don't understand how money works. They don't understand business. They've never been in a C-suite. They don't understand it from the banking perspective. They don't understand the financing perspective. They don't understand the production perspective. They don't understand the research and development perspective. Very few people can give you this type of game and this type of information right off the top of their head, without even thinking about it, because I do the work. This is what I do every single day. I know money. I know manufacturing. I know the companies that I'm investing in. I know technology. I know the fight that they having with Android. And I know the fight that they having with Apple in order to keep proprietary software out of their cars in order to be able to source the data to make more money long term. Very few people can give you this level of game. They can't teach you this. Your friends over there with the PhDs, I ain't gonna say no name. They got the PhDs in economics and finance. They can't hold the candle to me. They don't want to be on the live stream with me. You know why they don't want to be on the live stream with me? Because I will wipe the floor with my community college education. I will mop the floor with everything that they ever thought that they knew from a finance perspective. Tell them to come on a live stream with me and talk money, finances, autos, stocks, IPOs, real estate. We can break it down all across the board. None of them can mess with this C student education that I got. You know why? Because they don't live it. They just talk about what they read from somebody that's putting propaganda in front of them, and then they just reading off of a teleprompter in order to try to give you information. They can't talk this talk. They can't educate you as to why you need to ask your union leaders for more information based off of the 1,000 things that they ask and what's going to apply to your plan specific. They can't talk this talk. They don't know this game because they ain't never lived it. They ain't never built a business in real life from scratch. They don't know where all of the materials come from. Very few people can stand in front of me and say that they can really live to tell the story and they didn't get some scars as a result of it. Very few people can stand in front of me and say that they walked away unscathed. Where they at? Go find them. Find them and tell them to stand in front of me and be able to talk this talk. Find them and tell them to be able to stand in front of me and talk this talk. They can't tell you this. They can't stand in front of me and talk this talk. Very few people can stand in front of me and talk this. I'm sorry. You know me. I'll be getting in my bag real quick and I'll be having to big myself up. I ain't waiting for you to do it. They be giving you this basic information that you can go, man, stop it. Stop it.
Testing is very important.
One of your competitors said the deal that the UAW wants would push them into bankruptcy. Can GM be successful if you met all their demands?
Actually, no. The demands, which has been said, and we said, for the life of the contract, the initial demands were over $100 billion. We still have a ways to go with the offer they put on the table last night.
Mary, real quick, the UAW has made a big play about CEO pay. You're very well compensated, reportedly nearly $30 million. If GM can afford to pay you, and that's your total compensation, why not pay the auto workers that 40% raise and just get this done?
Well, you know, when you talk about executive comp, for instance, my comp, over 92% of the compensation.
I guarantee you she's going to say the majority of her compensation is tied to some form of tied to the performance of the company. It's in equity. Her base pay is literally in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then a lot of it is tied to bonuses and in compensation long term. So most executive compensation, and I'm going to drop the link at the end of the show. We're going to have this conversation. Most executive compensation cannot be and will not be sold. And so you're long going to be tied to the health of the company after you retire or after you're removed from your position. Your executive compensation is based off of the shares that vest over a longer period of time. But let me go ahead and see what she got.
Is performance linked. In addition to the 20% increases in salaries that we have on the table right now, our employees have been enjoying profit sharing for several years, and through the last few years, it's been record profit sharing. And so the way that General Motors is set up is that when the company does well, everyone does well.
Mary Barra, thank you so much. I got to send it back to New York.
So, auto workers are striking, just as predicted, and we're going to see what happens. I think that this is going to go a little bit longer. This is going to go a little bit longer than we anticipate as far as this strike. Let me go ahead and read some of the super chats, and then we're going to get it popping with the show because I want to be able to open this up for y'all to say whatever it is that y'all want to say. Tech Noob says, I've seen myself as a former Chrysler union engineer that some of the operators make up to $170,000 with overtime, and the demands are a little greedy. I've seen some people make a lot of money in these plants, and that was even back in the early 2000s. I've seen some people making some crazy money back in the early 2000s. Jaquel PF says, top of the morning, Anton, you are appreciated. Greetings and blessings for all the Lord God has allowed us to wake up this morning. He is sufficient in his love and grace. Hashtag Yah Chasers / Bag Chasers. Shout out to you, Jaquel. I appreciate you. Antoine Wade is in the building, says, my bro Anton giving an NBA level education today. Keep cooking. Let's talk about it. I'm going to drop the link for y'all towards the end of the show. Glenn Bronner says, just had to give you flowers. I know I didn't know all of this beforehand, just bits and pieces of a whole. Thank you, sir. You're going to get a full education for free. All you got to do is hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Links to the Patreon is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let's bring my dog. My dog, you know, Brandon Johnson is largely becoming my favorite person on the internet. Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago. Thank you, Sharon Compton. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago that is not even 1 year into his tenure. You guys elected him in office. Is largely becoming shout out to Rita. I appreciate you, Rita Cameron. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly also. Thank you, my love. Brandon Johnson is largely becoming one of the best people, the greatest people that I have been watching and studying and following as a public figure. And listen, don't tell me, Anton, you shouldn't be following Brandon Johnson. Brandon Johnson is the mayor of Chicago. Should we not be paying attention to what is going on in all of our cities so that we can either duplicate it or run away from it? Did you know? I bet you Chicagoans didn't even know this. I'm willing to put the house on the line that Chicagoans see. When I tell y'all that it all comes back down to the money, and y'all say, "Well, Anton, how is this relevant to money than the Millionaire Morning Show?" Well, what is going on with your city ultimately affects what your lifestyle is going to be, and it all comes back down to the money because you the taxpayers. This is your money. They basically taking your money, and it's a piggy bank for migrants. That's a fact. That's a fact. Did you know that Chicago currently is at a burn rate of over $30 million per month? $30 million per month and growing as far as how much money that they're allocating towards issues with regard to the migrant crisis. Did you know that Chicago is dealing with a budget deficit of over $500 million? What's up, Hassan? Did you know that the budget deficit in Chicago is above, meaning that the amount of money that they have to spend in order to make sure that the city has services, garbage, water, pickup, legislators, salaries, police officers, firefighters. Did you know that they're over $500 million in one of the best economies in the world, of over $500 million in the budget deficit? Somebody said, what about Detroit? Detroit's budget is balanced. That's a fact, though. We actually have a surplus. Yes, I am intimately familiar and connected with what's going on in my city. Detroit's budget is at a surplus, not a deficit. We are not a sanctuary city. Detroit's budget is at a surplus, not a deficit. What about it? Look it up. Public information. I am intimately familiar with what's going on in my city. All of the city council members, mayors, everybody that's participating in each legislative branch, I am familiar with. I talk to my legislators. We are in a surplus, not a deficit. Chicago is in a $500 million plus deficit and growing. Let me bring you in, help you to understand what's going on in your city. Listen, don't get mad at what's going on in my city. Pay attention to what's going on in your city. I know what's happening over in my city. What's happening in your city?
The city opened its books today for the first time in a while, and the picture wasn't pretty. There's a $538 million deficit. The question now, how will Mayor Johnson tackle it in next month's budget? CBS 2's political reporter Chris Ty digs into the numbers.
Don't screw it up.
Remember that? Remember her? Every time I seen her, I was thinking to myself, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Listen, by the time that Mayor Brandon Johnson come out of office, you're going to be begging for Lori Lightfoot to come back. You're going to be begging for Lori Lightfoot to come back. By the time Brandon Johnson get done mopping the floor with y'all and taking your money and giving it over into house, feed, give health care, clothing, food, shelter, so on and so forth. You're right, let's get it. Detroit has a 4.9% budget increase last year. I am absolutely correct. 100%. See, I'm not going to get on here and tell you anything that I can't bring y'all to the front of the congregation if I can't have my own city. Together, we are we are thriving over here in Detroit. We got buildings going up. Everything is going well. We got billionaires. Yo, it is popping here. It's popping here. Y'all gonna beg for Beetlejuice to come back by the time that Brandon Johnson get done mopping the floor with y'all.
We're delivering this up on a silver platter. Continue the work, stay the course, and things will continue to shine bright for the city of Chicago.
That's how Chicago's last mayor framed the state of Chicago's budget. In April, Mayor Lightfoot forecasted an $85 million deficit for next year. 5 months later, that number has ballooned to a $538 million deficit forecast.
I feel like something just got stuck in my chest, and I don't even know. I didn't even eat anything, and I feel like I just started choking for no reason. She was already running the city into the ground. She had already projected an $85 million shortfall in the city's coffers. Brandon Johnson said, I see that $85 million and I raise. He playing poker with the city. He said, I see that $85 million and I raise you to $538 million. I see that $85 million, that shortfall that we projected, and Brandon Johnson has been in office less than a year, and he said, I'll raise you to a $538 million shortfall in a deficit. And we're going to build a tent city. Don't worry about it. I have never seen, outside of maybe Eric Mays over there in New York, over there running that city into the ground, I have never seen in my entire life a city that is ran by, lived in by black people, police force, mayor, city council, treasury. I've never seen a city being ran into the ground as fast as I see it right now. Nope. Yakar says, where did that $400 million come from? Lawyer was lying. No, she not. One thing that she wasn't doing was she wasn't lying about the budget. The $85 million shortfall was based off of what was real and the numbers that was projected. The $538 million is largely tied to the migrant crisis. Don't worry, we're going to get in there.
Mayor Johnson writing this gap is driven by several factors, including rising personnel, pension, and contractual costs, as well as the cost of care for new migrants arriving to the city.
Let me read that one more time. Mayor Johnson, he liked to throw all of that other type of stuff on top of it before he get to the core of the issue. The gap is driven by several factors, including rising personnel. You mean you had to hire more people? Well, you certainly didn't hire more police officers. Pension and contractual costs. So now you blaming it on the police officers again, right? As well as the cost. Here's the real reason. Now he gave you the real numbers, right? As well as the cost to care for new migrants arriving to the city. The difference between $85 million in a shortfall, which they should have balanced the budget in the very beginning, and $538 million shortfall in 1 year is care for new migrants arriving to the city. You can't make this up. This is not my opinion. These are pure numbers. They opened up the books, and this is facts. This is public information. This is not anything that I'm making up. This is public information. They're averaging and growing on a monthly basis, spending over $30 million. When Trump said close off the borders and give the money over into the people to be able to police our borders more effectively, they said, no, open it up. We're not giving you no money. Now, New York, Chicago, and all the rest of these sanctuary cities are then fumbling the bag because it's costing them an egregious amount of money. Your money, taxpayer money. You go to work every day, pay a crazy amount of taxes, and they giving it over into making sure that they take care of people that they don't even know who they are. That's a fact, though. You said you wanted people in office, not necessarily that had business acumen, that stood up for what it was that you wanted from a political perspective, that actually aligned with your values, your character, and the moral. You wanted somebody in office that looked like you, and this is what you get. You wanted somebody that had the spiked hair, the gray beard, dress nice, communicate effectively, sound like your pastor and your preacher in your church. Well, this is what you get. Yakar said, no, it was $145 million spent on migrants. It's written in the same article. No, it's $149 million spent so far. A budget is projected, meaning what they anticipate spending long term. See, I need y'all to really understand how to look at things from a business perspective, because you're showing your stripes. You're showing that you really don't know what you're talking about. Budget projections are based on what it is that you anticipated spending based off of the new information that you get. So they revise the budget based off of different factors, largely tied to the migrant crisis. And now they're spending an egregious amount of money and they're getting more migrants in every single day, meaning that that number is going to continue to go up significantly if they do not understand exactly what the shortfall is coming from. Come on, man. I need y'all to really be quick on your toes here. I can't be the only C student in here. I can't be the only C student in here. You got to give me some new information.
The forecasted cost to feed and house migrants next year in Chicago, $200 million, more than a third the total deficit.
Shows the need that we need some assistance from the federal government.
36th Ward Alderman
Now you begging the
Villegas
government.
hoping for help.
Now they doing the same thing that these modern women is doing. Listen, Brandon Johnson and his administration is no different than modern women that's sitting here begging the federal government for a handout. I need Biden. I need you to give me some more monies. I need you to give me some more monies, Biden. That's what you do? You don't know how to get your own house in order, so you're doing the same thing that all of these blackity blacks is doing? You asking for reparations? Biden.
Washington on the migrant front commends the mayor for, it appears, sticking to his campaign promise not to raise property taxes to offset all this.
We're going to have to, again, take a look at the efficiencies, take a look at those other levels.
But here's the thing. Who's in your legislative branches if he don't even know that the property taxes has been raised over 55% in the majority of areas of Chicago? Now that they're getting the property tax bills, they actually have raised property taxes. And so when they tell you that they're raising property taxes because the value of your property is going up, it's a lie. It's a white lie. They're raising property taxes because they have a budget deficit and a shortfall that they have to make up for because Biden ain't giving them no more money. The property taxes have been raised. I just reported on it earlier in the week. Property taxes have went up in some areas of Chicago over 55%. That is a fact. That is a fact, though. Property taxes in Chicago is exploding. So I don't want to hear no politician sitting here talking this nonsense to me. You can't finesse me. I'm more informed about what's going on in Chicago than the very people that's voting in Chicago. How is that a thing? Jesus Christ.
That we can pull. No one has an appetite for property taxes. As a matter of fact, as we're starting to see businesses and people are starting to recover from the pandemic, we want to make sure that we're not stymieing the economic activity in the city of Chicago.
Sarah Wetmore of the Civic Federation says those details are likely to come next month when the mayor presents his formal budget. And she says there will be some success stories to share.
No.
What they're seeing is additional recovery in some areas, such as hotel tax,
Shout out
which
to MC.
they're projecting will come
I'm
in
going to be reading that
above
super
budget.
chat shortly.
But with debits outpacing credits, Villegas says the city needs to look for inventive ways to get ready for next year.
Over 1,200 positions that are vacant. When you take a look at the dollar amount around that, it's a couple $100 million.
Next month's budget rollout by Mayor Johnson could include a realignment of resources, he says. And of note,
this is all corporate speak. This is just tongue in cheek. We're going to have a realignment in resources. One of your people just said that they got over 1,200 vacancies, meaning that those are people that's not even on a payroll. So you can't say that it's personnel costs. You can't say that it's budget. You can't say that it's budget related to payroll because you got less on the payroll than you actually need in order to really be providing the optimal city services. Yo. What we talking about? What are we talking about, huh? What are we talking about? When y'all gonna start holding y'all legislators accountable for what it is that they presenting y'all?
note, Uncle Sam's not going to jump in here and solve this deficit problem at the last minute. Money earmarked for cities like Chicago for pandemic-related costs cannot use that money to bridge deficit problems. It must be spent on new projects.
And this is unfortunate. This is very much unfortunate. This is so unfortunate that y'all continue to subject yourself to it. And instead of holding yourselves accountable for who y'all voted for, because these people are just a reflection of the people that voted for them. Y'all said y'all wanted this. Don't sit here and complain about it now. Don't complain about the thing that you voted for. He didn't get into office because he just came in as a dictator and took over things. He got into office because y'all voted for him to get in there. You just going from bad to worse. Going from bad to worse. Shout out to Chicago, man. Good. Jesus Christ. God bless us. Let me read some of the super chats and then we're going to get it popping throughout the show. Sharon Compton says, I'm going to come in and drop this fireball inside of the collection plate. Thank you, my friend, for holding me down. Thank you. Rita. Shout out to Rita Cameron in the building. Cameron in the building says, Anton, I ain't got nothing to say. I just appreciate what it is that you're doing over here. I'm translating what this means. I ain't got nothing to say. I'm just appreciating what you got going on over here. I love you. Thank you, Rita. I appreciate you. You've been holding me down, and this is not the first time that you came through with this 50 ball and made it rain on me like I was a stripper over there in the strip club at Ace of Spades. Shout out. Let me give you another one. Carrie, you are late to class. Carrie E. Answer the phone, Carrie. You late to class, Carrie. Don't sit here and act like you don't hear me calling. I see you typing, so I know you by your phone, Carrie. No, don't send me the...
Please leave your message for...
I do have y'all number saved. I know who my people are. I know who my people are. I know Carrie, you over here late to class on a Friday morning, and now you don't want to type in the chat no more. Carrie, let me read a couple more super chats, and we're going to get up out of here. Oh, I'm sorry. We got to continue on with the show. Askia Bay. Askia Bay says, Anton, a double combo of Lori and Brandon makes Rahm Emanuel and his cabinet look like Jesus and the apostles. Shout out to Askia Bay. Carrie, they on your head. She said, I thought my phone was tripping. Oh, MC says it's the system. Sway Blacks, don't run it. Oops. Shout out to MC. I appreciate you for the super chat. Let me just look at one more thing real quick before we continue over with the show. Not Carrie not answering the phone. Shout out to Melvin Johnson. I want to give you a shout out also. And then my dog Isaiah Brim is in the building. Shout out to you. And then Tommy in the building. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. I rock with you. Oh, Carrie, you a mess. You are a mess. You know class start at 10:50 Eastern Standard Time. Come and talk about good morning, everybody. No, I want to see a good morning from you in the beginning of the live stream, not towards the end. No, Carrie, I got to bring you to the front of the congregation. No, that's my girl, Carrie. Shout out to you. All right, let's continue over with the show, y'all. We got to continue over. We got a show to do. Before I drop a link in the chat, I got a couple more things I want to go over really quickly. Candace Owens showed up on Valuetainment. Candace Owens showed up on Valuetainment. Shout out to Candace Owens. I've been having conversations with her. She's been popping up everywhere. She was on a whatever podcast. I just seen her on another podcast, right? Candace Owens dropped up on Valuetainment, right? And Candace was doing her thing, but she had some choice words for women as a result of being asked the question, with regard to Logan Paul. Now, a lot of you guys are not familiar with what's going on with Logan Paul, but Logan Paul is now in a spat with a fighter who he's supposed to be having a fight with coming up soon. And so they've been doing, their thing on social media and promotion. And Logan Paul also recently proposed to his long-term girlfriend. Aww. Ain't that what we want? We want people to get these women married, right? We want to take them off the streets. they've had time to be able to do their thing. They went and slept around. They had different partners. They got into situationships, right? And when he started getting into this situation and this spat with his future opponent, the opponent said, listen, all hands on deck. All hands on deck. Wives, kids, fiancés, everybody is coming to the front of the congregation. All right? And he started posting. I don't even know where he got these pictures from. He posted so many pictures. I thought that was artificial intelligence. Honestly, I thought that they was using ChatGPT to Photoshop her face on a lot of these different pictures. Dylan Dennis. Yep. Dylan Dennis. I said, man, they Photoshopping her. I didn't believe it, not even a little bit. I thought that they was Photoshopping this girl on every single picture that she took with all of these different people. But it was literally so many men that she was caught up with. And I said, this can't be good. This can't be good. Logan, walk away, fam. Walk away. And Candace has some choice words about women when asked this question about what was going on with her. I haven't seen it yet, but you guys apparently have sent it to me because you thought that it was something that was interesting to review. Shout out to Candace Owens and Patrick Bet-David. Let me show you what she said.
I cannot imagine how any man thinks it's attractive for their girlfriend or for their wife to constantly be naked on the internet and available to other men. Ugh. It's gross, you know? And so that's what I tell women. Men want to wonder about you, you know? You just don't want to put everything out there. Sure, if you do put everything out there, men will want to sleep with you. They're biologically wired that way. Absolutely. Yeah. You can get a man to slide into your DMs and want to sleep with you, but you are not wife material. And he knows that.
Yeah,
it's amazing how Candace Owens knows the sentiment of what's happening in the streets just as much, if not better, than the majority of these women that call themselves modern today. It's amazing to me how Candace Owens, who is not even necessarily a relationship guru, but I think that she's more of a guru than the majority of these baby mamas that's giving you advice on what you're supposed to do in your relationship. It's amazing to me how Candace Owens has more sense. And you know why? Because she is, by all means, successfully married. And she said, listen, any woman that makes herself easily available and easily accessible to the majority of men that then hit her up in the DMs and she's naked all the time on Instagram and on social media, that's not a woman that you want to wife up. But we got so many women fighting this, and they saying we should be able to do whatever we want to do, Keke Palmer. When we want to do it, even when we mothers, Keke Palmer, and we should still be respected in the same way as a woman that covers herself up and has respect for herself. Let's continue to see what she has to say.
Like Logan Paul's situation. Can you imagine, because I don't know none of the history. I saw him go down on his knee and he's proposing and she's like excited and there was that moment and then you just see all the slew of every guy in every video. What do you think about that?
Okay, I'm going to give a very nuanced take on that situation, and I think it's a lesson for women. Yes. So I actually loved Nina Agdal. I follow her on Instagram because I didn't know her youth until Dylan Dennis just kind of dropped it. I knew her. I'm very into fitness, and she has this thing called like the Agdal method, and so I started following her. She was super pretty and doing all that stuff, and then obviously this battle between Logan and him got real, and he starts dropping this. And this is what I say to women, you know, unfortunately for her, she put on an entire record because it's popular to talk about cock and to be, you know, this is what I'm saying. It's
The internet is undefeated. The internet is undisputed. Undisputed. It's undefeated. The internet is undefeated, man. You can't go on there and start talking about wild stuff. Oh. Actually, this could be a good thing for Logan Paul. This could be a good thing for Logan Paul. At least he found out before he married her. At least he found out he had one of the master comedians. Why do I say comedian? He had a master chameleon in front of him a master chameleon, and he found out. He absolutely found out the hard way, but it's better to find out now than after you say I do.
Like this is a feminist simulation. Like, oh, it's hot to talk about your partners and talk about how you like cock and, you know, how you don't have a gag reflex. I mean, so crass. I had never seen these clips. So crass for her to say. And she did this because it's cool and it's relevant when you're young and in your 20s and you're a part of the free the nipple, you know, simulation. And then now it diminished her value. It did. Yeah. And that's the truth. And this should be a warning and a lesson for women. And she's obviously being honest in how humiliated she is and how she thinks it has impacted her life. It has impacted her life.
There's no question about it.
If Logan does not marry her, I don't think there's going to be a man that does not take this into account. I mean, the videos are...
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Do you think he will? Do you think he will?
I think he probably feels responsible for what happened to her, so he might, yeah.
I actually don't think...
Don't let no woman guilt you into marrying them because of the thing that they did in their past is now coming back to haunt them. Don't let no woman guilt you into marrying her. Listen, it is not Logan Paul's fault that she was on video talking about her gag reflexes and all of this other type of stuff and then taking pictures with 1,000 different men, all because they was popular or they was popping or they had access to her. Whew. Whew. This is not Logan Paul's fault. This is Logan Paul's come up. This is an opportunity for Logan Paul to dodge a bullet. No way, no how. If somehow, some way this get clipped up and somehow it comes into Logan's purview, Logan, don't do it. Don't do it. And I'm gonna be realistic, right? I understand and I get it. I know that the overwhelming majority of women are not virgins. I get it. I'm not professing that you then find them to be a virgin. I'm not telling you that you have to make sure that they are a virgin. Listen, I'm not tripping about that. But when she made herself publicly available and she talked wild like this on the internet, listen, I know that there's a lot of women for the streets, and I'm not telling y'all that y'all should marry them. I'm just saying that it got to be a level of decorum. It's got to be a line that you're just unwilling to cross. After you've been with this many people and I know about it, I'm still supposed to go through with it because I feel guilty as a result of it? Nah, that is a self-inflicted wound. That is a self-inflicted wound, and that is not his responsibility to have to take ownership of that at all. But I think that she's right. If Logan Paul marries her, he will be the simp of the decade. If Logan Paul still goes through with this, I believe he will be the simp of the decade. That's a fact, though.
I think it's as bad as I know Nina. She's from Miami. She's dated actually 2 of my very good buddies.
Yeah.
Like, it's not.
Oh, God. Not a dude on a live stream, on a podcast, one of the most popular podcasts in the world, talking about, yeah, man, because I know Nina. I mean, she dated 2 of my homies. Come on, fam. Not a dude on a podcast saying, no, man, because listen, we know Nina. We know Nina. Not a dude on a podcast that's on one of the co-hosts saying, yeah, because, man, 2 of my homies, they both, she ain't lying. She ain't got no gag reflex. Come on, fam. Come on, fam. That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. Hey, y'all would be surprised. Y'all would be surprised some of the women that y'all herald, champion, and put on a pedestal and worship the most. It's some women that we know that the homies done buzz down. Yes, bigger than Will Smith. Absolutely a bigger simp than Will Smith. 100%. Bigger than all of them would be bigger than Will Smith. 100%. I see y'all in the chat. I'm looking at what y'all saying. You know why? Because it's one thing to know and to still go through with it. It's another thing to just have bad reactions and do dumb junk as a result of then getting exposed to it once you inside of it. See, if you know that she for the streets, and everybody is saying, and the homie on the podcast saying, yeah, because we know Nina. If you see that happening, and you still go through with it, even with the new information that informs you of what's really going on, that's the simp of the decade, 100%. It's another thing to just be situationally unaware and you just get finessed. You just had your head in the sand. You didn't know any better. You overlooked a lot of different things. You knew that she had, she a part of the industry. She had a past, but you didn't know. You didn't have this type of information. But even when a regular dude is on a live stream saying that, oh yeah, because two of my homies down here in Miami, we was on a boat. You still crashing out after that? Nope. No. Way, no how. I'm gonna be reading those super chats shortly. Thank you, y'all.
Not like some girl I met, like she dated
2 of your buddies.
Oh yeah, Reed and Patrick. One's a famous DJ, one's a big realtor. You've met one of their partners.
Oh man, now Dylan's gonna drop the pics.
There we go. Now here goes the photos.
Oh, they're already out there. They're already out there.
Okay.
And these guys are good dudes, good-looking dudes. I believe that she's just a sign of our times, feminism, liberalism. She's also a social climber. Like, before she dated Logan Paul, she dated Leonardo DiCaprio, Adam Levine. There was allegedly some stuff with...
We all know now.
Of course. But my point is this. She's also a Sports Illustrated cover model. Mm-hmm. She's actually a good person.
Yeah, she seems sweet.
She's like, you said that you were a fan. Dylan Dennis is doing her super dirty now that she has a court restraining order, whatever going on like that. But I'll give you this. This goes back to your point. There's so many girls way worse than what she's doing.
Oh, of course.
So many.
How do we know that what she did? How do we know what her public body count is wild. You're not going to tell me that you could justify that behavior by saying, but it's some ones that's really way worse than her. No, fam. No, dog. Once your homie over in Miami hit it, you and your homie or both of your homies together, that's a no-go, big dog. Cut bait. Cut bait, bro. Cut bait, bro.
Many girls way worse than what she's doing.
This is what I'm trying to say to women. Like, this matters. I mean, I was very surprised by the stuff that she has said, and I think she said it to be funny, and that's supposed to be like a girl's being open about their sexuality, but men don't want that. It's extremely embarrassing to a man to look at videos of your wife talking about gag reflexes, your soon-to-be wife talking. It's really embarrassing.
It's a great case study, I will tell you. It's a phenomenal case study for every parent. Yep. Phenomenal case study on what all the other girls worldwide right now watching this, laughing, doing whatever they're thinking. You can either do it to get eyeballs, like, oh my God, I can also do that. Let me make a video about, in the morning and all that. Or you can say, hey man, I can't have something like this because this thing's going to come back up to me one day and I'm going to have to face this.
Mothers, imagine bringing that girl home to your mom and your mom seeing this trending.
Oh, no.
Like, I would...
They're gonna know. The entire family. Even though at first they're gonna be like, I really like her. Yeah. And then you know what? Who she's dating? He's dating this girl.
Let me look.
Wait, do you know who this girl is?
Yeah.
That
reading super chat shortly. Thank you.
Girl, but this girl and that guy. And
I have to say one more thing though. I have to, because let's not forget one thing. She's actually beautiful. She's actually fit. She's not some OnlyFans model. She's not a prostitute. She's not a whore. And let's forget, she actually is conventionally beautiful. On the other hand, look at Lizzo. Yeah. You want people to be like Lizzo? Lizzo has no dirty videos out in the video, yet she's the definition of freaking beauty, I guess.
There's a big difference.
She has no dirty videos.
No.
Have you seen her Instagram? She's absolutely disgusting.
No, meaning porn videos.
And you know what point?
But should men idolize someone like Lizzo now?
And that's why Nina is actually a great case study, because she doesn't. She's not on OnlyFans.
That's the
she's
point.
not selling her body, and she's still suffering the consequences.
Yes, that's the point.
I told you I like her. I've followed her. I agree with you. I think she's beautiful, fit, all of those things. But the bigger point is that she's not even a prostitute. And look at how this is coming back.
If she's monkey branching her way to the top, and then she finally got a simp to marry her, everything has been transactional. I mean, I don't know, man. I think it may be a harsh thing to say that she's a prostitute. I wouldn't say that she's a prostitute. So Candace may be right about that. But good God almighty, Jesus. I can't wait to drop the link in the chat for this.
Back to Hunter.
And Pat, you having kids, and Candace, you having children. And what the other flip side of it is, and this is going to like a Kim Kardashian, like this girl, Pat. What's her name?
The one that started on this one.
So she's gonna have kids one day. The internet, that doesn't go away. Those videos are always gonna be there. Like the Kim Kardashian, I think about a year ago, she was crying, bawling because Kanye tried to buy the video of the sex tape. Those kids, it's not going to go away. Your kids are going to see that.
But by the way, listen.
That was intentional. They literally planned the whole video and they shot multiple different scenes and then they marketed it and they made a bag off of it. Come on, man. Y'all not going to start feeling sorry about them or them kids. Y'all not going to start feeling sorry about women that wind up becoming multiple different women inside of that same family, leapfrogged off of that video in order to become a billionaire. Come on, man. You didn't see that Kim Kardashian video and y'all start feeling a certain way, did y'all? Did y'all start feeling bad for Kim Kardashian when she was crying the fake tears about the video? Need to get it back. Oh my God, need to give it back. Kanye was out there wasting money, wasting fuel for the jet in order to fly out there and get the video and make sure that it never came out and silenced it. Stop it, bro.
You want fast success? You can do it. You want fast money? Go sell cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
You want fast success? Make stupid videos of you, sex tapes, and release it. Trust me, immediately you can be famous starting off with a high school. Then you can be famous in a college. And then if you have some kind of momentum, it could be national. Everybody's talking about it depending on who the guy is, right? But that fame comes with consequences. And you have to live with that for 10, 20 years. So if you're okay with that speed, go for it. So for her, this happening to her, she's not a dummy. This is not a girl that's a dummy.
Nina or Kim?
No, Nina's not a dummy. Nina knows what she's saying and what the video you're making, stuff like that. And at this point, with what's happened there with the situation, her, Dylan, Logan, all this stuff, he has to marry her.
Wow.
I don't know where he listen. Patrick Bet David usually be on it when it comes to the business and the political stuff. Patrick Bet David, in my personal opinion, I seen another clip that he said, and maybe I'll review that. Maybe I'll review that on Monday. I seen another clip where Patrick Bet David was talking about the purpose of marriage, and Patrick Bet David, in my opinion, on when it comes to relationships and marriage, is off. I mean, Patrick Bet David could never be more wrong on some of the takes that he have with regard to relationships and marriage. I think that Patrick Bet David be so off when it comes to relationships and marriage. And I don't know why, and maybe that's just not where his strong suit is, but this dude is saying that he has to marry. He ain't got to do nothing. He got to walk away. What are you talking about? Patrick Bet, this is the second time that the first time I ignored the video and I said, I like Patrick Bet David. I'm not going to review this video because this is wild. I had seen a clip that was going around on Instagram or whatever, and I was like, Patrick Bet David be off on that. But I ain't going to review that one or whatever. What is he saying? Let me get the rest of this.
Has to marry her.
Did this.
He has to marry her. There is now you can marry and divorce in 3 years, but he has to marry her now because he will look for the rest of his life. He's going to have to say, Dylan is the one that got you to leave that girl.
Oh, you're probably right.
It's permanent. He has to marry.
What? Is Patrick Bet David smoking? Is Patrick Bet David smoking crack when it comes to this? What is he talking about? Why would Logan Paul have to marry her out of pride because another dude exposed her? If I'm Logan Paul, I'm going to flip this and I'm going to be like, listen, Dylan is my new guy. That's my dog. I know we was beefing because we was about to fight, but props to you, fam. Bros over hoes. Man, I would flip that so bad. Like, man, listen, I was caught up in my feelings. For some reason, I was getting finessed. I actually rock with Dylan. Let me go ahead and make him a part of the podcast, make him a part of the team. I would hire Dylan Dennis. No way, no how does he, man, what is Patrick Bet David talking about?
He also has to beat Dylan in this fight.
So if you like this clip and you want to...
Patrick Bet David is off of his rocker on that one. I hate to say it, but Patrick Bet David is way off. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we're going to get to the last part, and then I'm going to drop the link in the chat. Shout out to DYB Lifestyle says, I'm in Colombia. What's up? Get your passport. In the building. Shout out to you, my friend. Thank you for holding me down. Cliff Williams says 70% chance he going to crash out. I don't know if he going to marry her. Ain't no man that dumb. Slim Tebow is in the building, says, I have a friend that has a boyfriend, but she's been hold on. Let me read this slow. I have a friend that has a boyfriend. So you talking to a girl that has a man, okay? She's been unhappy for years. Things are starting to heat up in our chats, and she has opened a link. Should I pursue her, or is it a one-off? Listen, bro. Listen. It's not cheating because she's not married. So I'm going to give you the technical answer, and then I'm going to give you what I would do. It's not cheating, but she's already emotionally connected to you. So she's already divested herself emotionally from the person that she's with. A, you spending too much time with this chick, and you going to get connected to her. B, you never, ever, ever get messy. Ever get messy. Do not, under any circumstances, it's so many women out here. Why would you put yourself in this position with a chick that's for the streets and you calling her a friend? Come on, man. Don't simp for this hoe. Listen, bro. Okay, let me address the first part of your question. Should I pursue her? Never. Ever pursue her. She already showed you who she was with the person that she was with. Listen, you asking the wrong questions. You only asked one or two. You gave me an A or B answer. It's a C answer in that. This is a C answer in that. A, no, you shouldn't pursue her. B, you can't one-off her because you already intimately connected to her and you saying that she a friend, which means that y'all cool, so you can't really ghost her. And that's B. C, walk away and stop calling yourself her friend, because this is why I say men and women shouldn't be friends like that, because eventually they get emotionally connected. Next thing you know, you asking me, should you pursue her? Now you asking me, should you pursue her? Dog, it's too much box out here for you to be worried about her, bro. It's too much box. You already emotionally connected to her. That's why you asking me, should I pursue her? Never pursue her. She for the streets, bro. It's not even her boyfriend's. It's his turn. And then it may be your turn. And then you're going to be sitting here super chatting me saying, Anton, this woman that broke my heart. No. Never, ever. Under any circumstances, pursue her. Do not do it, my boy. Shout out to Slim Tebow. DYB Lifestyle says, if you don't got your passport, we can't be friends. I'm sorry. Hey, it don't cost that much to get a passport. Shout out to DYB Lifestyle. I appreciate you for holding me down. He also says, P is for patience, pays. New company I'm starting, that's the name. Shout out to you. Congratulations, my friend. Shout out to you, my friend, and thank you for supporting the platform. I appreciate you, big dog. Mr. High-Level in the building says, hoes get married daily. Some known like Cardi B, some not known like some of y'all wives who had Q-dogs run trains on them in college. Shout out to Mr. High-Level in the building. I appreciate you. JC says, she's not a harlot. However, the line is thin. Shout out to my dog, JC. I appreciate you. The Lucid Experiences in the building says, Logan Paul better run and get to the chopper. Yeah. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. One more thing that I want to go over, and then I'm going to drop the link in the chat while we going over this. Women and crazy student loans. So I had an opportunity to scroll up my timeline. This is something that I actually came across on my own. And it was a pretty cool video, because I looked at it differently than what it is that he was trying to present to the audience. And he was basically asking students, I believe they were going to USC, what their current situation was and what their student loans was, right? And as I started looking at the video, I started seeing a pattern. And I was looking at it for my own interest. I just wanted to see what the student loans was. I wanted to see what the student loans was. And then I started noticing a pattern, and I said, I got to show this to my chasers. Make sure that y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. If you're not a part of the Patreon, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let's go ahead and get into the video, and let's see if y'all can identify a similar pattern like I identified the pattern. I'm going to see if y'all can catch it.
Americans owe $1.77 trillion in student loan debt, which is insane. So today we're here at USC and we're gonna be asking students how much student loan debt they're in. We'll also ask questions like how they expect to pay it off, how they save money, and their advice for anyone with student loan debt. Let's go. Do you have student loan by chance?
Yes.
Would you be willing to be in our YouTube video for like 2 minutes?
Okay.
So what's your name, age, and what's your major?
I'm Emma, I'm 19 and my major is public relations.
What do you want to do with that major after you graduate?
Probably was thinking about going into social media, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm still figuring that out.
Are you going to have student loans?
Yes, I do have student loans.
Would you be willing to share how much money in loans you have?
Currently, it's $7,000 a year.
So how do you expect to pay that off after you graduate?
I'm not 100% sure yet, but I think just like over the course of the years, just setting up like a auto, just like every month pay. I'm not sure for how long I'll be paying for, but yeah, that's kind of something I was going to.
Now, Emma, who's 19. We're starting it off on Emma, who's 19 years old. Went to USC for public relations. He said, what are you going to do with that degree? She said, I don't know, maybe get into social media or something like that. You going to college for public relations. You're accumulating $7,000. Is it per semester or per year? We're just going to say per year. $7,000 per year in student loans. He asked her, he said, what are you going to do to pay that off? I don't know. I'm not really thinking about it. I'm going to just set it up on like auto pay or something like that. I don't even know how long I'm going to have to pay it for. I'm going to just be paying for it. Jesus Christ. All right. She's not the only one. She's not the only one. We got to get through the video, and I'm going to drop the link in the chat. So we going to go girl, boy, girl, boy. Thank God that it's break points in this video. So that's Emma, 19 years old, accumulating $7,000 in student loan debt every single year. 7, 14, 21, 28. So she'll probably have a little over $30,000 in student loans. Assuming that she'll have over $30,000 in student loans. Going into public relations, don't know what she's going to really do. Maybe I'll just get into something like social media. And then she's also going to, she is not familiar with how it is that she's going to pay off these student loans. Okay, let's continue over to the next guy, shall we?
Of course. So what's your name, age, and what's your major?
Michael, I am 26 years old. I'm late to college. My major is mechanical engineering.
And why'd you choose that major?
Out of high school, I originally started going to like automotive shops and stuff like that. Realized that I didn't really like turning wrenches as much as I thought, and I wanted to get more into the design. So I decided to go back to college at a later age, and here I am.
And what do you hope to do in the future?
In the future, I hope to be an engineer in the Air Force.
Okay.
That's why I'm an ROTC student right now here at USC for the Air Force. So then when I get out, I'm sure I'll have a great resume to build off of.
Do you have any student loans?
I do not have any student loans right now, no.
How?
Mostly Air Force ROTC offers scholarships to cadets. It's not always guaranteed, but you can get a scholarship. You can have almost everything completely paid for, or you can get a Type 2 scholarship is what we call it, and that's about $9,000 a semester that can help pay for.
So, the man, so listen, let's just pay attention to the differences. This is not my video. I literally ran across it on my timeline, and I was just like, I wonder how much they paying, and then it just started to click immediately. It just started to click immediately. Right after that, it started to click, right? The man, the guy, 26 years old, waited. Now his brain is fully developed. He got some information. He went and checked some stuff out. He didn't necessarily like turning wrenches. He wound up going to school after joining the ROTC program. He has 0 student loans. 0 student loans. Already has a plan laid out. Talked about what it is that he wanted to do, is going to be an engineer inside of the Navy, having everything paid for, made an informed decision on top of things. So when I see women, oh, don't worry about it. We're going to get into more clips in this video. When I see women sit here and tell me how they're more educated, how they're smarter, they develop faster, and all of this other type of stuff, I call cap. I call cap. She got a basket weaving degree. He got an engineering degree. She got student loans. He don't. He got a plan. She don't even know how he going to pay for it. This man is killing it. Absolutely killing it. Let's move over into the next person. Let's see if we can find, well, that's advertisement. So let's see if we can find the next person.
Name, age, and what's your major?
Hello, I'm Dong Zi. I'm 22 and I study architecture at USC.
How'd you choose that major?
I just want to design my own house in the future.
Do you have any student loans?
Architect. Architect.
Fortunately, I do have some student loans.
How much in student loans do you have?
A couple thousand.
How'd you get to, doesn't seem.
Let's make sure that we get the full context. He's an architect at USC. He only have a couple $1,000 less than, actually the thing, I guess that they verified it, he probably has less than $1,000 in student loans. He's an architect. He's going to be designing his own houses.
Like that much.
Trying to not eat out that often. Also try to work as you go to school.
How do you plan on paying off your student loans?
I do have internship every summer. I think that could cover, or mostly cover the loans that I took out during the school year.
And how'd you find that internship?
As you know, there's like career fairs in school, and our School of Architecture also have our own like career fair. And I just went to one of the tables and talked to the HR person, and I got a job.
Would you share how much money you make at that internship?
You never make much money in architecture, but I just made enough to cover the loans that I borrowed.
How much?
All right.
What do you expect to make after you graduate?
60 to 80. If you go to like more firms that are like well known by people, you might get to somewhere like 80, 70-ish. It depends like what you want to do. Like if you want a skill set, you go to a smaller firm, but they don't pay you much.
What's the worst thing about college?
I'm here.
All right. So he's saying as soon as he get out of college, he's going to be making between probably $60,000 and $80,000. He's not going to have any student loans. He's already interning. He has less than a couple $1,000s in student loans. Any student loans that he take out, it's already paid over the summer through the internship or whatever it is that he's making. He's making a skill set that's going to set him for life. And he's ultimately going to be making well over six figures over the life of his career. He is making informed decisions. He's working while he's in college. He's not necessarily asking for handouts. He's talking to the HR people. He's going to the career fairs. He's educating himself. And now he's going to be winning and be successful throughout the rest of his life. Informed, smart decisions, going forth and doing the thing that's going to be in his best interest. Let's see if we can find another one. All right, so the next one is a woman. So we going girl, boy, boy, girl. All right, girl, boy, boy, girl.
Of how much I should be spending.
Any final advice you want to leave students?
Don't be a
Thank you so much. So what's your name, age, and what's your major?
Sydney, I'm 17 and my major is Cinema and Media Studies.
How'd you?
Cinema and Media Studies. Cinema and Media Studies. What kind of degree is that? Cinema and Media Studies. All right, we all on the same page? Are we? Yo, are y'all seeing the pattern yet? Are we all on the same page? Are y'all seeing the pattern yet? Are we all on the same page?
Pick that major.
I took a film class in high school and I really liked it, so I wanted to apply here.
And what do you hope to do with that major in the future?
I'm not completely sure. I think I would love to make films, but also I do like the analyzing part of it as well. So.
Do you have any student loans?
Yes.
Would you be willing to share like how much student loans you have?
$20K for this semester.
Yeah.
How does a 17-year-old is acquiring $20,000 in student loans per semester? Let me just say that one more time. A 17-year-old is in school for cinema studies and they are acquiring over no. We didn't say 20,000 a year. We said 20,000 per semester. Now, if you acquire student loans for the entirety, and let's just say you went for 4 years, hopefully you don't go for 5, but let's say that you going for 4 years, right? That's $160,000 for a 4-year degree. $160,000 for cinema and media studies. $160,000 for cinema and media. Just because you graduated early from high school don't necessarily mean that you prepare for life. Just because you graduate early from high school don't mean that you're going to be prepared for life.
What's your favorite thing about USC so far?
It's beautiful. I'm from Virginia, and so it's much nicer out here than there.
Which means that she's probably paying out-of-state tuition because she's not even from there.
Okay, like the weather?
Yeah, it's a lot more humid there, so it's nice here.
Do you think college is worth it?
I think it is. The connections you get, the people you meet, and then I think you just get to take a lot of classes that you didn't get to in high school.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find one more guy. Let's see if I'm going to find a guy right after her because it may be a guy that's fumbling the bag. But so far, we got two for two out of the guys and 0 for 2 out of the women, all right?
So much. So what's your name, age, and major?
Hi, I'm Alone, 18, and econ student here.
What made you want
So, he's 18, basically the same age as the woman that we just reviewed before her, okay? So let's see what it is that he's going to say.
Get into econ?
Well, I want to transfer into the business school, but I think it's a cool
Oh,
major with a
wait.
lot
Let me
of
back up.
opportunities
Wait.
overall.
Thank you so much. So what's your name, age, and major?
Hi, I'm Alone, 18, and econ student here.
What made you want to get into econ?
Well, I want to transfer into the business school, but I think it's a cool major with a lot of opportunities overall.
And what do you hope to do in the future?
I want to be in startups, not any specific ones, but
You want to start your own business?
that'd be very nice, yes.
Do you have student loans?
I do not have student loans.
How do you save money?
This is only my first week on campus, like very new to all of this, but I think I'm not buying like unnecessary things for now.
What's been your favorite thing about USC so far?
Meeting new
Econ major, has a plan. Hopefully he goes into business. Eventually hopes to start off his own business, setting himself up, wants to get into the business school, does not plan on taking out any student loans, is being incredibly frugal, has a plan for his life, and is focused. 18-year-old man. Y'all said that they're adults now, right? Because they can vote, they can register. Yo, do y'all see the difference? Do you see the difference? Do you see the difference in the way that women are operating, modern women are operating, and modern men are operating? Man, once I was watching this video, I said, this cannot be real. This cannot be real. He is not a feminist. He is not the type of dude that's out here. He's not a part of the manosphere or whatever. He's just randomly picking people. I'm about to drop the link in the chat if y'all got a disagreement with me, if y'all out here and y'all want to have a conversation, if you just got some thoughts. I'm about to drop the link in the chat for y'all to be able to come up here and say what it is that y'all want to say. You know what we do on Fridays. So anybody that got a thought or a comment, you're more than welcome to be able to do so. I'm dropping the link in the chat. I was just so amazed of the mindset and the differences between. So when you say and you say people, oh man, you got to incentivize women to go and do the things that's best for them. Hey, women in STEM, come and drop this, whatever, so on and so forth, right? But when we say the majority of the student loan debt is women, now you see why. Cinema and media studies. Oh man. Shanquita, I agree with you. There are a lot of men that have student loans, but I'm just telling you the general sentiment between women and men is completely different. Men are more intentional. They go into things that's going to make money. If they decide to go to college, women are more emotional. And when they pick something that they're supposed to study, they don't even know how they're going to pay their student loans back. This is crazy. Listen, I dropped the link in the chat for anybody that has a disagreement with me, anything that you don't like me about. If you just want to say, Anton, I hate your hat, any of that, you are more than welcome to be able to come up. I dropped the link in the chat for y'all to be able to come up here. Let me drop it one more time. I'm about to read the super chats. But there's a vast difference between the most men and how men think and how women operate. And it's clear. It's very clear right here. There is a gulf of a difference between how men operate and how women operate. I guarantee you the majority of y'all women in here that got student loans. If there are women in here that got student loans, I guarantee you that is probably in a degree program that was not best for them. Let me read some of these super chats and then I'm going to start bringing y'all up in order for y'all to be able to have this conversation. Let me read a couple of them. The Uncle Tom is in the building, says Anton is already starting off ridiculous social media. Get the F out of here. Get the F out of here. Jamal Parks is in the building with the 20 ball. I appreciate you, Molly Mall. Says Anton, I'm looking into HSAs, health savings accounts, but it doesn't look like most people can contribute to it because of the high deductibles. Why wouldn't you be able to contribute to your health savings account because of high deductibles? I don't understand that. I want to be smart, so what is a way I can get into it without paying $700 every time I see the doctor? I'd have to go over your benefits package. I need to see what your benefits package is for your particular company. Send me an email, antondaniels413@gmail.com. I'll respond to it, and then we'll figure it out from there. But a health savings account sort of operates in a way for you to be able to utilize that money and save money while actually reducing your tax. We'll go over it. Make sure that you send me an email, and then we'll go over it. Don't worry about the deductible so much. A lot of times, the health plan that you pick, and you can do a health savings account whilst picking a specific. We'll go over it. Send me an email, antondaniels413@gmail.com, and I'll hold you down, big dog. Jake Smooth, I'm about to come to you shortly. Let me just read a couple more super chats. Jarrell Davis says was going to go to USC for film scoring. Then I saw that people are teaching the same thing for less than $2,000. I know just about the same of what they teach there from someone that graduated from there. Shout out to Jarrell Davis. Made a very, very, very smart decision and not to put himself at debt. Centennial G, my dog, says, I say it once and I'll say it twice. Undergrad and grad education, seek the greatest air power. United States Air Force, ROTC, I held from the best in the West. DET 40, Loyola Marymount. DET 60, USC, ain't got ish on us. Shout out to you, my friend. Continue to run that bag up. I appreciate you. I just want to acknowledge one more portion. My dog, Jay Ben, says, so while we're here, no more crying about the wage gap, bringing it back to the money. These dudes are focused while the women are blowing in the wind. It's crazy. Yo, I'm curious if there's any ladies in the chat, Maury. You're right. I'm curious if there's any ladies in the chat. I'd love to know what your degree is, and I'd love to know exactly what it is that you're standing for. I'm about to bring my dog Jake Smooth up here, and anybody that want to tap in, be sure to do so. Mr. Youngblood hit me over there with the Cash App with the 20 ball. I appreciate you. And then Brock says the Pass the Love offering for the 5 ball. Thank you, Mr. Youngblood on Cash App, and thank you, Brock. I appreciate you guys. Let me go ahead and bring up my dog Jake Smooth. Jake Smooth, you want to be on camera or off camera? On camera, thumbs up. Off camera, thumbs down. All right, on camera. All right, Jake Smooth in the building. What up, Jake? Chilling, my friend. What's your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I wanted to piggyback on the union thing with the workers and stuff that you was talking about earlier and what you've been talking about earlier this week.
Okay.
Well, first, I just want to just say I really just kind of started watching you about a couple weeks ago. And,
congratulations. Welcome to the live stream.
Appreciate it.
How'd you find me?
Man, actually, you gonna laugh at this, but about a year or so ago, I got on y'all the Peace Network. I was watching that for a minute, and I was kind of a fan of you and Logic. And I was like, damn, like these guys, they really, you know what I'm saying? They really be talking some real stuff. So when I found out that you had your own channel, I kind of had started watching you a little bit, but then like I was kind of going through some mental stuff, so I had kind of like got myself off a lot of social media at that point.
I feel you on that.
So I ended up kind of reconnecting back to the YouTube space or whatever, and so therefore I kind of picked you back up. So
welcome back to the fold, my friend. I appreciate you for rocking with me.
Shout
out to Elizabeth. I'm gonna be reading y'all super chats throughout the show. Go ahead. Let me hear what you got to say, Jake Smooth.
Well, what I want to say about that is, man, it's crazy, man, because right now I'm a truck driver, and I just recently started driving about 8 months ago. And at first I was working in a factory, and I remember having the conversations with some of the people, you know what I'm saying, some of my coworkers at the time. And I hate to say, I ain't gonna say it's all, but a lot of the older people, the older guys and women, they have like the attitude like where I don't have to learn anything else. Like I'm gonna be doing this the rest of my life. And like I was trying to tell them, like, yo, this company that we working for, don't you know they can literally they making enough money to where they can bring in robots and they can fire damn near 3/4 of us. They only need 1/4 of us just to run the plane at that point.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? So I was trying to get them to see that. They were just like, nah, we good, we good, we good. So, and unfortunately, bro, that's kind of what's happening with, what I'm saying, Ford, GM, and all of them companies like that. And then the union side of it, man, bro, I'm gonna tell you, like, there's a lot of companies that's trying to do away with that.
Yeah,
You
of
know what I'm
course
saying?
they are.
Because it's
They
like,
don't like the unions. They don't like what they represent. And they don't like how it messes up their business practices.
exactly. And then another thing I try to tell people when they talk about union jobs is like, yo, you got to understand where the business is coming from. Like, you got to understand they standpoint. How you feel if somebody would come in your house and tell you how to run your own house? How you feel about that?
Yeah, I
You know
got
what I'm
turned
saying?
off from the union. What the union was and what it turned into is two different things. I think that the union, what it represented in the earlier years, especially when they first started coming into formation, was they were advocating for workers' rights, right? They got a lot of things cleaned up on the floor, OSHA, safety. It was a lot of good that came from the union. But when I got into the plant, I got turned off from the union because they first started taking dues out of my paycheck in the very first paycheck that I started working. And I wasn't even a part of the union. I had no protection. I was already paying them dues and I had no protection whatsoever, right? And so that was before I even got my 90 days in to actually be a permanent employee at the company, right? And so then when I became a part
Right.
of the company, when I would call them for things that actually mattered, for the things that, maybe we need to do this or maybe we need to do that, they would focus no attention on that, and they would spend all of their attention on trying to get people back their jobs that was out here messing up and being, you know what I'm saying? They would be sleeping on the job, dude get fired or dude get, written up, and they would be trying to make sure that they negotiate. No, listen. And I've heard some of the conversations. Hey, listen, don't write him up because you know that if he get written up again, and that's gonna be his last offense. Just listen, give him a warning this time or whatever. And y'all know, listen, all of these people that's inside of the unions, that's in these shops, that's in these locals, you know what really play out. You know how
Yep.
this junk
And
is playing out. And they over there negotiating and they doing underhanded deals and backroom deals. And then the union rep over there, he's sleeping all night and you can't even get in touch with him. And he got a chick that's on the floor and stuff like that. Man, I said, man, this ain't nothing but politics in real life, bro. And so what the union was actually created for versus what it actually does in real life for people that's actually been on the floor is two different things. And so I got
right.
turned off from the union and what they represented because I started looking at things from a business perspective, and they run completely contrary to what business is supposed to be ran like, and they not efficient as they say that they are.
Right. And another thing is like,
I'm gonna come to you
and you
next,
gonna let
Marcus.
I'm gonna be done shortly. I just got about two more little points I want to hit on. Another thing, like yesterday, for a prime example, right? I had a load coming from I was in Miami a couple of days. I had a load that coming from Miami going to a little town outside of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it was I shouldn't be saying it. I'm just gonna say it anyway.
No,
It was a Dr.
don't say
Pepper.
it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. If you
Okay.
having questions about what you shouldn't say, then just don't say it.
I ain't gonna say it then, but it was a drink company, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was delivering the load. It's supposed to be a live unload, right? Get there, and this is where everything is take a turn for the worse. Get there, make the long story short. I sat there for 6 hours straight trying to get unloaded.
And they
All
they
for them to
messed up
come
your
out.
bag because they was over there fumbling the bag and they didn't want to do anything and they knew that they was part of the union and they was protected.
Yep, and this the crazy thing about it. This like the whole story. Make it short. Sat there for 6 hours. They tell us, well, it's about 25 trucks, 25 big trucks sitting there waiting to get unloaded. Piled up on the little service road to get. I mean, you got trucks all the way on the service road, all the way on the main highway to get to the service road to where you can turn into the place.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, they tell us, well, now y'all gonna have to come back tomorrow to get loaded, to get unloaded and all that. All right, so ended up we asking, okay, what's going on? They saying that the night shift they didn't feel like working, and they didn't want to do anything. And then the union rep came out and the night before because they the ones that's in charge of loading the local trucks. See, what happened is with the distribution centers, the big trucking companies, they bring loads from state to state to the distribution center, and then from there they split the products up, throw them on local trucks, and they take, they run it throughout their state or
Yeah,
throughout their area.
they controlling the logistics of what's happening as far as distribution, which is one of the reasons why all of the ports was so messed up during the time of the pandemic, and they was running up the bag over there and getting all of their overtime. They know how they playing it.
Right, and that was so crazy, man. Like I'm like,
I know it. Listen,
because they didn't feel like
when
working.
I remember my first time being on the floor in the union, and I'm up there and I'm doing my job, and this is the God's honest truth. Lord, strike me down if I'm telling a lie. I'm up there and they got a rate, right? And so what rate is for a lot of people, and I'm gonna come to you next, Marcus. 1 second. What rate is for a lot of people is rate is what they're expecting for you to produce per hour based off of what you're capable of and what the standard is within the company. So let's just say we building this part, and this part goes onto a car, right? And this is a part of the part that goes onto the engine that goes on the car, right? And so I'm responsible for manufacturing that part based off of the stamp, based off of what this thing is stamped into, and it stamps it into the car. And so I'm responsible for the quality. I'm responsible for every so many parts. You got to go over there and double check it to make sure that it meets the quality standards so that there's no recalls with the company and so on and so forth, right? So I'm doing it and I'm doing my job, and I got really, really good at it, right? And so I'm knocking it out and I'm getting good, and management is starting to recognize me. Now I'm a young bull. I'm 18 years old, just getting into the workforce. I'm over there killing it, and I'm beating rate, right? So now I'm measuring myself. My quality is top notch. The quality person came over there and like, yo, this is dope or whatever, so on and so forth. I had people from the union come and pull me to the side, bro. They stopped me and pulled me off of my job. They pulled me to the side. They took me outside and they say, man, what you trying to do? And I was like, what you talking about? I'm 18. I don't know. I got a job. I'm trying to do a good job. Man, what you trying to do? What I'm trying to do about what? Man, if you keep working like this, they ain't going to increase the rate and we going to have to work harder. I was like, what you mean? Man, listen, either you going to slow down and not do as good of a job. You don't have to check those parts. If you go to take at least 10 bathroom breaks throughout the day, listen, you can come and chill with us and so on. Man, this is the honest to God truth. And I was like, what? What is going on in here?
Yep.
And honestly, I'm going to just be real with you, bro, because the same way that I am today is the same way that I was in yesteryear. I was like, man, F you.
Yep.
Do something.
Yep.
Do something.
Like the company,
I don't care what y'all talking about. Do something, bro. I always been my own man. I'm not going to let no other man tell me what to do. They don't write my paychecks. And from that day forward, I was turned off by the union because that dude went and told the union rep started having a conversation with me about being efficient at my job. And from that day forward, because I started looking at everything from a business perspective, I knew that the same thing that they selling us in the general public about what the union is completely different from what it is that we actually see on the floor. Anybody that's ever worked in the union, you know that it's a reason why the Japanese is out there killing us and why we started running amok as far as our quality, our efficiency, and people being lazy. And they not, man, it's not what it is that y'all think it is, bro. So I'ma just tell it, I'm gonna tell the real. I'm speaking from real life experience. I done been in there. I done been in multiple different plants. I've been in the steel mill. I've been in the manufacturing plants. I've been in the stamping plants. I've been in the body shop. I've been inside of the assembly plants. I know what the hell is going on in there. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah, I could totally feel that, bro. Cause like this my last little thing though. My last little thing I'm gonna get off of here. But listen, like the 32-hour work week that they pushing for, man, that's BS. Listen, bro, like when I told you I was in the factory right before I started trucking. Listen to me, Mr. Anton. Like, listen, man, I was running it up so crazy. I was running about 60, 70 hours every week. I was running so crazy. The head people called down to the plant and were asking, "Yo, who is this? Tell him he can't work like that. He costing us too much money. He can't work like that," because I had been there for going on 3 years. I knew different areas, different departments. So it was like literally I would work in my department, my shift, my 8 hours, 9 hours on in my department. I go over to another department, help out for like 2 or 3 hours, 4
You
or
know
5
what?
hours.
Honestly,
Sometimes I pull doubles.
let me tell you something, bro. What you gonna have to realize is that you're not meant to just be a regular worker. See, people like me and you, right? People like us that operate based off of efficiency, that start looking at things based off of how we can continue to grow the company. We're inherently, by default, business owners. We see things differently. We're not trying to get by. We're not just trying to be regular. We're not just trying to figure out how we can keep a job and then make sure that the company pay us more money because we should share in the profits too. You are inherently by default a business owner and you don't even realize it. And so what I want you to do is just look at yourself differently than what it is that you do for a living, then also start looking at what you can potentially go into going forward in the future. Your circumstances is not what your future are. Hey, hit me up, bro. Email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com, and then we need to kick it, bro.
I got you.
I think that you listen, you good, you a worker, but I think that you start to see things differently. I realized on the floor the minute that I got inside of that plant that this is just an opportunity for me to make money, but this is not what my future is supposed to be long term.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's part of the reason why I got into trucking. Like wanted something different, and it was just, man, I just didn't see no way possible for me to go further. And I knew I didn't want to go in management because I kind of seen how they treat the supervisors and the managers and stuff, and I was just like, nah.
It's different in certain areas. But all right, my friend, I appreciate you. Thank you, Jake Smooth, for coming through, bro.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
All right, my friend. Marcus, hold on. Let me do it like this. Yo, Marcus, you want to be on camera or no?
Yeah, that's cool. I'm not tripping.
You sure, Marcus?
Yeah.
You got a little bit of a delay.
Down in this truck, but yeah, it's cool.
You got a little bit of a delay, but it's cool. What up, Marcus?
What's going on?
Chilling, my friend. How you feel?
I feel all right. I'm just over here at work.
That's what's up. So what's the word? What's your thoughts?
I missed the whole show today pretty much, but I did want to touch on the topic. It was like last week y'all kind of spoke about it.
You missed the whole
show.
I hope you're going to be rewatching
this,
Marcus.
Today I missed it. I don't know why I missed it. But I wanted to touch on a different, I guess, idea of systematic oppression.
Okay, help me to understand.
And I want your thoughts on it. No, you're not off at all. Okay, but I just have a different view on. You hear what I'm about to say. I feel like the Democratic Party is the party that is systematically oppressing people.
Why?
And the reason why I say this, because I said it yesterday. The reason why I say this, because yesterday we were talking about the evictions that was going on. The way that they so they're kind of preying on the people who don't have much or subject to do things in a predatory way. So if you give somebody a lot of money, they probably want to do something good with it, right? So when COVID happened,
not necessarily, but I got you.
Okay, but all right, when COVID happened, of course, the government gave everybody money. They allowed people not to pay rent, and they let it go on for so long.
Correct.
So the people who really didn't have much, especially like in those places like Atlanta, out here, there's people out here who was behind $24,000, $30,000 on their rent.
Okay.
Out here in the Bay Area. They let it go on so long, and then once you just take it away, those people who don't have anything, they're going to be evicted very fast. They wasn't paying their rent at all. The Democratic Party allowed that type of stuff to go on and on and on with no type of plan and action to eradicate that.
Well, the thing about, I don't think it's just the Democratic Party in a lot of instances. I think that it's both the Democratic and the Republican Party. I think that they both do egregious things. I think that they both do egregious things in different ways. The Republican Party, in a lot of instances, they're irresponsible socially. They're socially irresponsible because they don't believe in taking ownership when it comes to some of the things that they're not doing correctly, which would then prepare themselves to also, or prepare the people that they represent to be successful long term, right? So I'll give you an example, right? A lot of Republicans say, hey, bring manufacturing back to the United States of America. But they're not given a blueprint or a path to actually compete worldwide. They just saying bring back jobs. Or they'll say, close off the borders and, cut off all immigration whatsoever. We should only have jobs for Americans. Well, they're not also taking into consideration there's a lot of jobs that's going unfulfilled that Americans just don't want to do, right?
Yeah,
and so it's that you should have it and you should have that conversation, but it's nuanced. It's not just based off of just looking at it on the surface. It's also understanding how it's going to impact certain economies. If you remove all immigrants, for example, out of Florida, the entire economy is based off of an immigrant population that is then supporting businesses. So instead of them crafting legislation that allows for people to have a pathway into actually paying into our tax system, which would then substantiate or continue to build up a revenue base and allow people to actually become successful as far as that's already here, what they'll do is they'll start blaming Democrats and they'll say, well, y'all should have cut off the border or y'all should have closed off the border in the first place, right? That's not success. That's not actually giving a solution. That's not actually, crafting policy that allows for us to both close off the border, get out of their illegal immigration. How can we solve for the problems that we're looking at from a business perspective that actually, helps our companies become more profitable, which then feeds into the tax system while also being socially responsible? On the flip side, Democrats will then say, well, we don't like Republicans and we don't like the fact that they're trying to close off the border, even though we know that the border should be closed off. But at the same time, we're not providing a solution for all of these people that's running into these cities because we just going to kick the can down the road and we can just borrow more money because we understand inflation is going to affect the people, which then gives us a problem to solve in the future because we can play off of their suffering in order to say, hey, we either going to blame the Republican Party or we going to continue to give you some handouts that then doesn't solve the problem, but then it just bridges the gap between getting you from place to place and makes you more interdependent on a Democratic Party, right? So it's both problems on both parties, but it's not necessarily solving a problem by allowing us to actually use our insight and information from a business perspective in order to be more socially responsible. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that it's irresponsible all across the board. And that you can hold both of them responsible, but I think it's just the mindset of the liberals and the Democratic Party is actually what's wrong with the community and what's wrong with our country in the first place. So I do put more onus on the Democratic Party for keeping people voluntarily ignorant, but I don't give Republicans a pass either.
Okay. I see where you're going with that one. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yep. So you just got to make informed decisions. You
when
know
I
what
was
I'm saying?
seeing it out here, when people out here are just getting kicked out of their homes. And then one other thing is, you know how crime out here runs kind of rampant. People think
what is out here? Where you at?
On the surface, when you think about criminality, it's like some of the stuff they do is dumb to put their lives in jeopardy. But they're not dumb to the point they know that, especially out here, nothing's going to happen to them if they do something.
Yeah,
the reason why they're doing it. The other day, I was trying to get some exclusive footage for you. This was 2 days ago. Yeah, this was 2 days ago. I was trying to get some exclusive footage for you. I'm going to my friend's birthday dinner out here in Oakland at a place called Jack London Square. It's like an area where people, restaurants, views of the water and things like that. Yep. And these dudes just driving around. There's 2 cars, tinted out, blacked out, driving around, knocking in people's windows, stealing their stuff. I'm talking about in broad day. There's 2 cops riding around on bicycles. They seen it happen. I was trying to get the footage for you because I had just parked. And I'm looking at them, they looking at me, so I pull up my phone, but then I'm sitting here, because sometimes they'd get out, another person in the car would get out, and they'd just stand while he's breaking into a car and just hold like a gun. It's kind of like a form of intimidation. They really don't use it like that, but it intimidates you enough for you to just kind of, not really do nothing about it. But I was trying to get that footage for you so I could send it to you so you have some exclusive footage.
Yeah, I mean, it's all bad, bro. It's all bad out here in these streets.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I wanted to just touch on that. I appreciate that.
Thank you for coming through, my friend.
Yeah. All right, man. I see.
All right, my friend. All right, I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna see if Greg want to come up, and then I'm gonna come to Colin. Let me see what we got over here. Give me a second. Greg, you there? Greg going once. Greg going twice. Greg Charlie, are you there? All right, you came on camera. All right. Greg, do you want to be on camera? Yes, thumbs up for camera, thumbs down for being off camera. Thumbs down?
Thumbs down.
Okay,
Yeah,
go
thumbs
ahead.
down.
I can hear you. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. So I just wanted to kind of touch on the whole UAW strike situation. You know, I actually work for Stellantis.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's I mean I'm kind of, it's like I'm torn because I agree with a lot of the stuff you're saying, but I think sometimes when you so far removed from it, it like if you listen, if you was in there, you would hear or see what goes on, the way that they play this game, especially with the tier 2 and tier 3 workers and everything like that, with the way that they're trying to do it. You got people in there that's making like $16 an hour and they dog them. You know, they don't even give them an opportunity to move up and to be into the full time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like the 32-hour work week and the, you know, getting the pension back and all of that. I'm not here to say what we are, what we're not gonna get. You know, now's not really the time for me to be saying that. But, you know, I think the main thing should be, you know, we do need that raise. We do need to be adjusted to the cost of living, and they need to eliminate the tiers. You know, the way they do those people is borderline. You know,
who does that to the
un-American.
people?
You know what I mean? So I mean, the GM, Ford, Chrysler, they work them and they don't give them opportunities to, you know, take a break, or, you know, they working them 6-7 days a week, 12 hours. You know what I mean? Versus somebody like me who's full time, I can say no to some of that stuff. Well, lately
Yeah,
we ain't been
because you
able to
got
say no to the,
seniority.
you know, yeah, but they don't even have an opportunity to move in it so that they can have seniority. You see what I'm saying? They not rolling those people over, like how you said, like your 90 days and all of that back when you was working there. That don't exist no more.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not already grandfathered into it, everybody that's getting hired in, they're getting hired
Yeah,
in
but
as
okay, so
part-time
I
people.
feel you, right? Let's meet in the middle on this, right?
Okay.
Let's say, for example, they get rolled in, because getting rolled in just basically gives them the opportunity to make more money. All right. The seniority is not going to change. You still going to have more seniority than them. They still going to have to work those hours.
Right. But then they get the protection. They don't get to, okay, they don't work them the same way that they work us. You see what I'm saying?
Of course.
They can do them
because you
7
got
days,
seniority,
12
which
hours
means
forced.
that you have precedent to determine what job you want. You got precedent to determine whether or not you want the overtime or not. You get the first right of refusal. That's how it goes.
The seniority is not, seniority is not what determines how they work us. The seniority, the way that they doing them, they're not even full employees. So they do whatever they want to do with them. They're almost like they come from like a temp service.
Well, here
so they do
I know,
whatever they want to do with
but
them.
it does because they're not even really being union represented, right? What's happening
Yes
is
and no. Yes and no.
no, they're not, because they don't have the same protections as you. And so what happens is those people are actually outworking the people that's on the floor that's actually represented in the union, the ones that's actually the tier 1. Those people get more benefits, and as a result, they take it off a little bit more. And then the people that are tier 2 and tier 3 are working like Mexicans because they're trying to keep their job, and they don't have the same protections as y'all, nor do they make the same amount of money as y'all. So they're doing the jobs that y'all don't want to do, and they working the shifts that y'all don't want to work, and they working much harder than y'all because they don't have the same protections as y'all.
No, so another thing too is you got to understand how it affects us too. So like,
wait, am I off?
Somebody like me.
Am I off?
No, you're not really completely off. You're not completely off. It kind of faded out at the beginning, so I missed the first part of what you said. But you're not really completely off about what you're saying. How it affects everybody else is, okay, say for instance, if it's a lot of people in there, you know, you've been on your feet. Like I've been there 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on my feet doing it for 10 years. Like say for instance, now I want to move into the forklift, right? I want to become a driver.
Mm-hmm.
Just recently in my plant alone, 120 people retired. They took the buyout package. They got up out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody moved up. Nobody was able, nobody on the floor was able to get into the high-low department so that they can become drivers. Nobody got into the inspection. Nobody got the better, higher paying, less taxing jobs that you would normally be able to get into if you had, 10, 15 years of seniority. even though 120 people just walked out of the door. Why is that? Because they're hiring those temps in, and they're giving those temps those kinds of jobs. They can
Let me ask you a question.
With those temps.
Let me ask you a
Go
question.
ahead.
Why haven't you gotten into skilled trades?
You don't remember my super chat from 2 weeks ago? I'm in the skilled trade. I was okay. I was the one who told you I just got out of school for HVAC in April. So but
usually what happens is, well, let me tell you what happened in my local. I worked at Local 600, right? And so one of the first things that happened was when I got into the local, it had been such a gap between, when they had first started doing hiring, and they tested for skilled trades, right? I took the skilled trades test, and I was actually the top. I wasn't the top guy. I was the second guy after I took the skills trades test, right? Before I wound up getting let go because they was actually restarting the skills trades program, and they was asking me if I wanted to be an electrician, if I wanted to go into HVAC, if I wanted to be a millwright. Yep, it was a millwright. I had an opportunity to be a millwright and some other stuff, right? But I was already getting off the floor, and I was going to be making a significant amount of money more. Let me ask you, do they still test in order to become skills trades within the facility itself? Or do you have to go outside of the facility in order to become skills trades and then just bring your education back?
Well, it's weird because last time they had it, first off, they had to open it. And the last time they had it open was ironically during the pandemic. So we were all doing it like a work from home thing, but you had to have a laptop with a webcam and they had to watch you take your tests and stuff like that. But that was the last time they had it open. And even then, with people like me and all that, we were going through taking the test and all of that. Just because you passed don't mean you got in. You just, they just waitlisted you. But we've been waitlisted for 3 years.
Okay. Just wondering in the general sense. And then one last question for you. I know that the benefits package is a part of it. They also do tuition reimbursement. Have you taken advantage of that?
I think my situation is a little bit different because when I first signed up to go to school for HVAC, they were telling me that that Chrysler wasn't going to cover it. Or that Stellantis wasn't going to cover it.
Tuition. You got to go to HR, and then they'll give you a list of the different things that they will reimburse. Because usually, what happens within a company is that they want to be able to utilize that same skill set.
Yeah, so that's another thing. So now I gotta, I basically just gotta go through the motions. I gotta figure it out if they'll just reimburse me for the straight up tuition that I paid, because they were, they kind of moved away from HVAC. They really only care about like pipe fitting and a lot of
electricians.
But I think they will still reimburse me just because I did go to school for a skilled trade. But I just have to, because I didn't go directly through the company and directly for an electrician, I got to go through more motions. Because when I first signed up to go to school, they told me, I had to pay out of pocket, which I did. Yep. So now it's not really the time for none of that. Everybody around there, they mind is focused on one thing. But I'm gonna keep at it, trying to see if I can get my tuition reimbursed because I did pay out of pocket. But yeah, that was just the only thing, man. And I
understand what you mean, because it's not like the company. Well, it's not even a company itself. A lot of the time, it's the management within that specific plant that then determines what happens or when they can hire in, because they got certain budgets and they're trying to meet certain criteria and all of that stuff. So I get what you're saying as far as, and I agree, right? I stand with the union on specific issues, especially with regard to, making these workers, moving them over from temp and giving them a pathway to actually become tier 1. I don't disagree with that. It's just certain things that I do disagree with, like the 32-hour work week. That's wild to me.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you like this. I don't think they really even. I think that's just something to throw on the table just to have more things to negotiate about. We recently were on 4x10s, which is you work 40 hours a week, 4 days a week.
Yep.
Right? They just out of the blue, they snapped their fingers and moved us back to 5x8s. Now, we were on 4x10s for 9 years. So I've only been there for 10 years. Mm-hmm. My first 9 years, I loved my schedule. I love having 3 days off a week with the option of overtime, because I used to have I used to work Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday.
Yep.
And that gave me time to do things like go to school. My other bit, if I wanted to start another business, or when they moved us to this 4x10, it literally, Anton, it literally feels like it takes up my entire day. I work 4 to midnight, Monday through Friday, 3 Saturdays a month.
Mm-hmm.
And
but here's the thing though. Here's the thing though. That should be the thing that's inspiring you to go back and get out of there, man.
Yeah.
Listen,
but I already had those inspirations.
I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to be 100% real with you. We can debate union issues all day long, and there's some stuff we're going to agree on and there's some stuff we're going to disagree on. But if you've been there for 10 years, you've been there for roughly 6 or 7 years too long. You personally.
I mean,
if you've been
and I'm
there
gonna
for
be
10
honest,
years, you're too intelligent, you're too smart, and you had too much opportunity over the last 9 years to actually put yourself in a position where you're no longer dependent on them. Fuck them, bro.
And I don't want to take up too much time, but I'm gonna tell you, I agree with you, but I'm gonna tell you, here's the problem. When I got out of school for HVAC, I spent all of that time learning. I learning a skilled trade and everything like that. And this skilled trade, it was supposed to pay so much, which I know that it does. Do you understand? I would have had to take a pay cut, literally half of what I make now, just to go into the trade that I spent all of that time.
That's
and
a
money
personal
going to school.
decision. That's not the company's responsibility. That's your own.
No,
thing.
I know that, but I'm just giving you an insight on this is why I've been here for so long. Like I gotta. It's taking me longer because I have to find a way to work both jobs until I can compensate for the money that I'm making here, because it's hard to walk away from what I'm making just to make half.
Personal decision.
If it was a $5 difference,
that's a personal decision. I decided to go into working at a public company, a nonprofit. I wound up working at the University of Michigan in order to then get the skill set that I needed in order to move up into management. I took one step back in order to take 10 steps forward. You got to make that sacrifice. You got to lower your life expenses because you got to live and you got to plan for the thing that you want to do 10 or 15 years from now. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself in the same position long term. You have been there for 6 and 7 years too long, bro. Job is listen, I don't care what they paying you. That job is a stepping stone, because anytime somebody can then take away what it is that you supposed to, or what it is that you feel like is ideal for your life, and they're able to dangle some money in front of your face in order to make the sacrifice as a result of it, you've been there too long, and you should be in a position at this point. And I get it. Listen, job is a job. You're doing what you're supposed to do. I respect it, and so on and so forth. But at some point, you're going to have to level up, because you are not defined by the job and the position that you hold. You should be defined by the goals and the things that you're supposed to be achieving long term. You've been there for 6 and 7 years too long. You shouldn't even be having a conversation with me about how long you've been standing up and you trying to get into the high-low position. Your goal shouldn't even be your goal. When I heard you say that, I was thinking to myself, oh, he don't even understand it. He not even catching a wave. I get it.
I was giving you.
You want the position that's the optimal position for where it is that you're at. You want to make yourself as comfortable as you are and make as much money as possible. I understand. But I'm telling you that you're thinking too short term instead of thinking long term, and you have been there too long. I never anticipated being in a plant for the rest of my life. I always was using that as a stepping stone in order to get into the thing and the reason that I know this is because I get it. The money was too good for me too. And that's why I know what it feel like, because then you start to be addicted to the money and you can't really pay attention to the thing that you're supposed to be doing, which is one of the reasons why I'm so thankful that I got fired, even though it was my own doing, because it's the reason why I am where I am today. You have been there too long. And if you are still there the next 2 to 3 years or the next union bargaining contract, and you having a conversation with me and I'm talking to you and you still there, then me and you gonna have problems.
No, you ain't got to worry about that. We ain't got to worry about that, man. That ain't even a part of my plan, but yeah, definitely. No, I 1000% agree with you, man. I started so young, and I started working there when I was 19. So when you taking that long,
hold on one second. Somebody trying to come in my space. Sorry about that. The Amazon guy decided to stop by. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I started there working there so young, and when you young, you taking that time to find yourself. I was going to regular college and working, and but it took me a minute to figure out, HVAC is what I want to do. I want to get into the skilled trades, and I want to get up out of here.
This is the question. How old are you?
30.
You're 30 years old, right? You're gonna look up and you're gonna be 40. You're gonna look up and you're gonna be 40. Here's the question that I have for you. How much did Chrysler or Stellantis, because they keep changing their name, how much did that? You want to know what I just got in the mail?
What's that?
I got to keep a bottle of hot sauce at the office. They gave me all of that big old box just to get some red hot sauce. Here's the
Amazon
thing.
the hustler?
Yeah, Amazon everything. I get everything. I ain't going to no stores. I ain't about to stop at no place. I got me some good old fashioned red hot. Here's my question to you now. Literally, that's what came in the box. Here's my question to you. How much are they gonna pay you to give up on your dreams? Because you're gonna be there when you're 40.
No, I'm not gonna be there when I'm 40. They can't pay me to give up on my dreams.
They
It's
already
about
did.
me. It's
You
about
got there
me
when you was
balancing.
19, 20, 21, 22 years old, and now you're 30. And then you're gonna be 40. So here's my question. How much is it costing you to give up on your dreams?
You mean, are you asking me how much are they paying me right now?
No, I'm not gonna ask you how much they're paying you. This is my real question. This is my real question for you, okay? You so invested with this whole union thing. That shouldn't even be your focus. Your focus should be something way different and way bigger. And basically, they compensating you in order to keep you as a plant monkey.
I get
everything
what you're
that
saying.
you're doing is
that's why I
revolving
told
around what it is that they got going on.
Remember when I said I'm that's why I say I'm kind of in the middle of it, but I
don't
agree
think you're
with what
going
they doing,
nowhere.
and I don't disagree.
I think you're gonna be on the high low. I think in 2033, I'm gonna be sitting on the sideline owning the Pistons, and you're gonna be telling me about how you can get out of this high low position.
No. I mean, that's why I went to this. This is what I've been working for. This is what I went to school for. You know what I mean? This is what.
Okay, so give me the blueprint. When you leaving?
I got a 4-year plan.
So you're gonna be there for a total of 14 years total. So you're gonna stay there for another 4 years?
Yeah, the reason why, I mean, if it can be earlier, then I will leave earlier. The only reason why I say it's a 4-year plan is because I understand what it takes to actually get out into the HVAC world and really start getting money and really building, what it is that I need.
You leaving in
And
4
it takes
years?
me
Is that
2
what you're
years to get
telling
my
me?
license. It takes me 2 years to get my license. What'd you say?
You leaving in 4 years? That's what you're telling me?
That's the goal, if not sooner.
I don't think so, bro. I don't believe you.
Oh, you gonna do me like? I mean, I gotta take my time.
You want me to tell you the truth, or you want me to tell you the thing that make you feel good?
I always want to hear the truth.
I don't believe you.
Why do you say that?
I think because I seen this story play out.
I never seen nobody with the type of plan that I got talking the way that I talk.
Plans don't mean nothing. I've seen a lot of people with a lot of plans, and they don't execute on nothing.
Okay,
they be right there in that plant, and they be right there with that gut. They go and get them a Harley Davidson. Instead of getting the Ninja, they get the one that sit up like this, so they can be a little bit more comfortable. They go and get them They keep them that new Charger, Challenger, Hellcat. You know what I'm saying? They don't call it A-plan papers no more. They call it employee
plan.
Z plan.
Yeah.
And then you can give it over to the friends and family. You got to be directly related to that. Listen, I know this game. I'm from Detroit.
Listen.
I know exactly how this play out. I think you're going to be there in 2033 and 2043. And then you probably going to be trying to get your kids in. I see this play.
Okay,
I'm
going to do you like this. I disagree with you, but if you had more pointers to give me or more ways for me to be on top of that so that I can continue to enact my plan, what would you say?
I would work the minimal amount of hours that I have to work in order to keep my job, and I would spend every single waking moment grinding, hustling, and pushing myself into the position that I'm actually want to be in. Listen, I got a immediate plan of what I want happening within the next month. I got a plan of what it is that I'm looking to do over the next 2 to 3 years. And I got a plan of what it is or where I expect myself to be in the next 10 to 15 years. I'm not building these houses based off of where it is that I anticipate being in the next 2 to 5 years. I want to own over 100 properties over the next 9 to 10 years. I have a plan. I start at the end. I reverse engineer exactly where I want to be. And then I give myself milestones every single year of where I need to hit every single year in order to really be able to execute that thing. Everything I do is a 10 to 15 year view. So the stuff I'm doing right now, listen, let me tell you something. This very show that I'm having right now, I'm not building this so I can create a YouTube channel so that I can be on here for the next 10 years. I'm building this brand so that eventually it turns into something that I can do from like a Today Show or a Tonight Show, that I can bring somebody else that I can groom into the position to where they're running this show and they're the host of the Millionaire. The Millionaire Morning Show is a brand. I'm not doing this I'm using my likeness in order to create the visibility for the brand. Fight Club is going to be its own thing. Millionaire Morning Show is going to be its own thing. My real estate portfolio is going to be its own thing. It all feeds into a greater plan. And so a lot of times what we fail to do is we fail to plan based off of what the end result is and then give ourselves milestones that allow ourselves to continue to be pushed. That's why when I see you on a no plan, see right now you on a no plan. And the no plan usually yields you a result of what you still continue to do when you was on a plan and you started to develop it in the first place, right? The no plan don't get you nowhere because it's all dreams and hopes. It's, yo, I'm planning this and I anticipate being here in 4 years. You never started from the end result and then re-engineered where it is that you wanted to go and how you was going to get there, right? You looking at a short-term view of what your greatness, you only accessing really like 3% of your greatness. You're only accessing like 3% of your greatness. Whatever it is that you're doing, you 10 times better than what it is that you're supposed to be. And so what you're going to have to do is you got to start from the end. And when I say start from the end, I'm not even talking about from a career. I'm not talking about how you can make money. I'm talking about what the fuck you want in life. I dreamed bigger than a Hellcat and a Challenger. I dreamed bigger than a fucking Honda Accord, right? And so when I start to break down my life and I said, listen, in 10 years, I need to have at least a $150,000 a month lifestyle. That includes going to multiple different countries. That includes setting my daughter up in order for her to be able to then go and do whatever it is that she wants and then come back into the company and run this bitch, right? I need to create a legacy where my daughter can run what it is that I've built. I need to be able to drive everything I want to drive and get all of the supercars, and I need to travel over here, and my mom got to be taken care of, and her mom got to be taken care of, and we need to be jet setting, and I don't want to really have a place, and I need to be able to make this money. So everything that I've painted as a picture, it then paints what it is that I need to do in order to create that lifestyle for it, right? And so now I'm saying, okay, well, if I need to get there, this is really how much my lifestyle costs. And this is how I need to break down how I need to make that type of money and generate that type of revenue. And so I'm going to put these things in place that then grow and manifest itself up. But I got to give myself milestones. If I'm going to own 100 houses, that means that I got to start building an average of 3 and then 6 next year. And then I got to multiply that by 12, which means I got to reinvest everything back into the business. And so that's the thing that then inspires me. That's the thing that then tells me how I'm supposed to live my lifestyle right then and there, because I got a milestone that I got to hit next year that then feeds into a bigger plan. Because at any time, it's just like going to the gym, right? You know where you're supposed to be. You know what kind of competition you're trying to plan for. And so what you start to do is you start to meal prep based off of where you need to be at this time. And your coach going to say, hey, and this is what you got to work on. And this is what you got to do. And so it's the same thing with everything you want to do in life. You got to start at the end result, break it down based off of the milestone. And then you give yourself a plan and you got to hit that shit. And so now I don't have to worry about the end goal. The only thing that I got to worry about is hitting what I got to hit that day, that month. I'm breaking it down. I'm a cook every day, right? I know I can't miss because it's really things that's really dependent on me to hit that. And in order for me to get to the next point, I got to start right here and I got to be great today. Only thing I got to do is be great and hit every single milestone and target today. That's why I don't miss. I never, ever miss because I hit every single target because it feeds into a bigger plan. And usually I'm ahead of schedule. I'm never behind schedule. And so y'all going to have to be a little bit more intentional on how it is that y'all do what y'all doing. Because if you're not being intentional, then you just own the no plan and you're never going to be able to get to the space that you're supposed to be in long term. You're never going to be able to get there because all you're doing is looking right in front of you instead of milestoning it out based off of what picture you painted for your lifestyle to be. If you want your kid to go to school and be able to go to any kind of school without no student loans, that's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. If you want to be able to have all of the supercars, that's a number attached to that. But you got to paint the picture. You can't see it. And you don't even know how you're going to get there because it's not realistic for you. It's not a thing for you anymore. I'm trying to help you to understand. Listen. It's plenty of people out there on the internet that's going to teach you how to build your 401k and your Roth IRA. And there's videos inside of the Patreon for that too. But I'm trying to give you the mindset and help you to understand how you can re-engineer your life in order to be successful. This is the same blueprint that my mentors tell me, that every single person that I know, they live and they die by this mentality in order to be successful. They live and they die by this mentality in order to be successful. Success is not necessarily a number. It's a mindset. The number is always going to be able to get hit. It's a mindset. I live way below my means, even though y'all think that I'm stunting. You know why? Because I got numbers to hit. I got numbers to hit. Appreciate you for continuing to call in. Ray, you wanna go up or down? You wanna come in or you wanna be off camera? It's up to you. You wanna be on camera? Give me the thumbs up for on camera. Thumbs down for off camera. All right. Let me get you in here, Ray. Let me see what's happening out here in these streets. What up, Ray?
Hey, what's going on, Anton?
What's going on, my friend? How you feel?
Hey, man. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Yeah. You know, I want to bring up yesterday's topic pertaining to Oprah, Miss Oprah Winfrey.
I was looking for it. I was waiting on somebody to say this.
Yeah. No, I disagree with you. I disagree with you. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I agree. We shouldn't be counting people's money. I get that. But when you put yourself out there, you know, that's what comes with the territory. You know, you're going to get the criticism. You're going to get the disappointment and things of that nature. We all know, you know, what's happening over there in Maui is a very delicate situation, you know, what's happening with the people over there. And there's already been some animosity.
See, your dog don't even agree with you. Your dog don't even agree with you. But go ahead. I want to let you cook. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you know, the people that you know they've already had issues with outsiders coming in, you know, buying up their land, you know, trying to take their farmland and things of that nature. And so, yeah, I think me personally, if I was in Oprah's shoes,
they got issues with people that wanted to buy their land from them.
Yeah.
Okay,
so there's a lot of
I don't understand what the problem is.
Well, they're trying to push them out. It's the whole gentrification thing that's happening.
Yeah, I do
and
that too. I go into neighborhoods that I don't necessarily like, and I push out all of the poor people that's fucking it up. I do the same thing.
It is what it is. However,
now what does that have to do with Oprah? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
So what that has to do with Oprah is me personally, if I'm in Oprah's shoes and I'm living in a place, I'm owning hundreds of acres of land. I understand that there's a lot of discontent with the locals and a lot of animosity towards people, you know, who have wealth and high stature. I am going to try to do my best to make those people, I guess, happy in a way so that I know my stuff is safe, my home is safe, and I'm not, you know, being criticized or dragged in the media.
So you do things to make other people happy and not the thing that's in your own best interest.
That is in my own best interest.
How?
Because if I'm not if I'm not putting into the community where I live and helping others around me better themselves, I'm creating a situation where those people might be in desperation and I might be a target.
So how many times have you been to the neighborhood watch meeting? How many times have you been to the board meeting? How often do you connect with the people in your neighborhood?
Well, I'm not in that situation. I don't at all. So because I'm not in that situation,
You're not
I don't live in that type
with your community?
No, I'm not. No.
What do you mean? I thought that you said that you wanted to make sure that everything was kosher and you was a part of the culture and the community in order to make sure that things is better for you.
Absolutely. If I was in those shoes, you
don't live in a community. You live where you don't have no neighbors for the next 5 miles.
No, I do, but I'm not in a position of power as to where I have, you know, I guess I don't have as much to lose as she does.
Oh, so you should only do it when you got a lot to lose. So you shouldn't do the right thing for the sake of doing the right thing. You should only do it for the appearance of doing the right thing.
I mean, that's what she's already doing.
No. I'm talking about you. Because you said if you were in her shoes. Turn your
you
YouTube
should
down.
do the
Turn
right
your YouTube down. You got to turn your YouTube down.
Hold on, let me turn it off. No, you should do the right thing. Just just to do the right thing.
How can you not connect with your community?
I just haven't taken the time out to do that. I've just been grinding at home, working from home. Yeah, very busy.
You've been working from home. You're busy. You more busy than Oprah.
Probably. She has a lot of people and probably, hey, she's delegating the work. I'm trying to get to where she's at, where I can delegate the work to others.
So what would you have did? Maui wildfire. You got to make sure that everything is taken care of business. All right, cool. So what would you do if you Oprah? Would you have even gave money at all? Would you would have went on camera and say, hey, this is what I'm doing and this is what y'all can do if y'all contacted me to figure out what it is that y'all want to do? What would you do?
Me personally, I would have donated probably definitely a lot more than the $5 million she gave.
Tell me how much you would have donated. 10 million ain't enough. How much would you have donated?
No, it's not enough. I would have done like 50.
You would have donated 50 M's.
Yeah, if I got it, I mean, I'm not counting her pocket, but she looked like she got it.
What do you do for a living? Tell me. You don't got to tell me where you work, but just give me some insight. I don't need to understand.
I work at IT.
IT. Give me a roundabout number of what you make a year.
This year.
Don't be modest. Tell me the truth. Come on, man. Hit me with the numbers. I know you're getting that bag.
Yeah. This year it's gonna be well over 100. Yeah, it's gonna be
over 100. And you working from home, which means that you can save money and you ain't got all of the transportation costs and all of that.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Let me ask you a question. How much money you donated to your community? You ain't got to look in the sky. Listen, body language says when people do like this, listen. I'm going to teach you. When people do like this, they looking for an answer because they starting to fib. I don't want you look at me.
No.
Yeah. Listen. Look at me. You got to keep it real with me. You already kept it real with me as far as how much money you're making. When people start doing like this, usually that's a way for them to try to find an answer. Just give me a general idea. How much you gave to your community?
Yeah, I guess directly in fundraisers and things of that nature, nothing. I don't think I've donated anything.
Ray, you over here running up the bag, killing it. Check. Boop. Probably just got paid on Thursday. It was crazy. Why are you not submitting monies over into your community, Ray?
Yeah, well, that's the plan. I'm trying to put myself in a position to where
you are in a position,
can do
Ray.
that.
Ray, you are in a very, very fortunate, profitable, successful position. You are a bag runner upper earth. Why are you not contributing into your community, Ray?
Because my community doesn't really need it. I haven't participated in any drives or anything like that. It's very rare where I live. It's
you ain't got to tell me where you live, Ray. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Why don't you contribute to the causes that's meaningful to the people in the community that are less fortunate than you, Ray?
So I do contribute in other ways, not specifically to my community, but where I moved from in Connecticut, my dad runs a church, and I do donate whenever I get that call, $1,000.
That don't
more
count.
than that.
That's your daddy's money.
It does. No, it's my money. It's my money, and it goes towards the community.
Hold on, Ray. Not Ray. Come on, Ray. You gotta give me something else, bro. How you gonna count Oprah's money and tell that she's supposed to donate at least $50 million, but you don't even look out for your own community that you live in and give $5? Ray, are you a part of the
I'm not.
board? Are you a part of the neighborhood watch? Are you patrolling in your own vehicle, putting out your own gas? Are you out there helping the homeless, Ray? Or are you only doing it on Thanksgiving? Ray, what is going on? Ray, are you even paying your tithes and offerings?
No. Well, I mean, I give in a different way. I give in a different way.
Ray, I got to bring you to the front of the congregation, sir.
Go ahead.
I can't believe that you're sitting here holding Oprah accountable, counting her money, and then you're not necessarily doing anything in your own community, Ray. What is going on? Please explain to us, Ray.
Well, like I said, I don't live in a lower income community where those types of events are common. Uh, so you don't see that a lot where I live. Where I used to live, where I came from, yeah, I was always a part of that. I did participate in food drives, giving out food and all of that.
Was it through your daddy's church?
It's the same thing. I'm giving back to the people. It's going to the people. What are you talking about? Hold on.
Oh my God, Ray. You don't think that it's a little hypocritical for us to hold people accountable for something that we're not even doing ourselves?
No, I'm not really holding her accountable. I'm just saying if I was in her shoes, I would
No. I
definitely.
don't believe that. I don't believe that. You know why I don't believe that? You know why I don't believe that?
Why?
Are you being coached in the background, Ray?
No, I share an office with my wife. She's over here
Hey, wifey.
talking.
Wifey. Wifey in the background. Can you hear me?
No, I got headphones on. She can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Why is she over there coaching you? She watching a Millionaire Morning Show while I'm talking to you too?
The yeah, yeah. She listens in sometimes.
Ray. I think that we are a hypocritical society. I think that first we need to get the beam out of thy own eye before we start counting and telling other people how they supposed to spend their money. We don't know what Oprah is doing. We don't know how many communities she's helped. We don't know how many people is over here looking out and all of that stuff. We don't know anything about it. All we know is we continue to hold her accountable for something that we not even doing ourselves.
I agree. I mean, we're all speculating here. But again, if you're gonna put yourself at the forefront of an issue, you got you got to come correct. If I'm gonna put myself at the forefront of a situation that's happening, I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come correct. I'm gonna definitely not gonna come with that small of an amount.
Wow,
and then
10 million is too small. Wow.
five.
5 million. $5 is too small. How much
For her, yeah.
How much did you give to Maui, Ray?
I don't live in Maui. She does. She got a house out there.
Ray, I gotta let you go. I gotta bring my guy Logic up here, Ray.
All right.
Thank you, Ray, for joining. I'll see you later, bro.
No problem. Have a good one. Hey, I've been hitting you up on the Patreon for a coaching call.
That's what's up.
I need some advice.
Oh,
I need some advice.
Oh, you need some coaching, Ray. I got you. I'm on it.
I need some coaching.
Tell Dad I said what up. Stop making the offering plate shake. All right, Ray. I'm gonna holler at you. What up, Logic?
Wait, I was enjoying listening to Ray. Ray is goofy.
Oh,
goofy.
Man. Oh,
how you gonna want somebody? Look, bro. Cause see, I lived in Hawaii for like 3 years, man. They got like it's this Hawaiian Commission Act, right?
Mm-hmm.
That their homes is protected, right? And then so you might, I mean, it's a good read. You know what I'm saying? Their homes is protected. They'll tell you. So like they got these $1 million homes and shit. It's protected. They got all kind of benefits. So I'm like this. Why would anybody in America donate to a fucking in Hawaii? You crazy? Boy, that boy goofy. You know what I'm saying? Can't even donate to his daddy church.
Yo,
Sorry.
I just don't understand how these people is counting other people money and telling them how it is that they supposed to spend their money on stuff that's meaningful to them. I don't understand it, bro. I am genuinely concerned about the outrage of what other people is doing with their money to help on whatever causes is meaningful, dog. I'm just very confused right now.
They just so obligated. They think if you get to a point where you start earning, you obligated. That's the ghetto nigga mentality. You know what I'm saying? You obligated to give back. You know what I'm saying? You're not obligated. You know what I'm saying? If you put yourself around on people, and then you know what I'm saying, it makes no sense to me. This fake obligation to even give something to somebody else.
I don't know. I mean, they donate to Umar Johnson, though. They building their own schools. They building their own schools. They donate. I'm waiting to see when it open up, though.
Hey, have Umar made that school yet?
He said he got it. It's just not open. He said he's still working on it and getting the furniture and stuff. It's been like 15 years, but he's still working on it.
Yeah, and they stupid for still donate to him. You know what I'm saying? It's so easy. Like I said, it's so easy to get money from stupid people, man. And you got to realize that they want everybody to give. Somebody get slapped with a brick, fake brick. You know what I'm saying? Oh, let me donate to her. That's not going to fix our situation. If she got slapped by a brick, if you donate to her, it ain't going to change no situation. We throwing around money too much in America now. It's crazy. They ought to shut down all that shit.
I'm cool with it. I love it when people getting finessed. I think that everybody that get finessed by well, I ain't gonna say Umar, because I don't know what he got going on. So I think that everybody that get finessed from Umar deserves it, bro.
But it was a point, it was a dream, right? You know what I'm saying? The first black-owned school, you know what I'm saying? And now LeBron can't even do it right. Did you hear about his school?
Yeah, I heard about it. But yeah, LeBron's is a public school. LeBron's is he's supplementing it by giving the parents education and all of that. But LeBron's is actually a public school. It's not a privately owned school though.
But I'm just saying that was part of the dream that black people want. But if you keep in mind, would you send your kid to an all-black school?
Hell no. So what, they could be washing up with black soap and with chakras?
Hold on, wait. What's up with the hot sauce, man? I came in the show
Amazon. I had ordered some hot sauce from Amazon because I was running out. And they sent me a whole box with just the hot sauce in it. And so I didn't know what was in the box. I forgot I ordered it. And so when I was unpacking it, it was only hot sauce in it. So I just grabbed the hot sauce and threw it on there.
See, look, I told you, you're a clone. You's a motherfucking clone.
Who, me?
Yeah, nigga, you.
How am I a clone?
Cause we don't get this type of Anton on Monday. The Anton on Monday. No, you don't. No, you don't. The Anton on Monday to be like, oh, black men win and they the biggest provider of their family. And then you'll come on this show and talk about how they evicted, they in debt, they goddamn need to goddamn chase the bag. I was like, hold up, wait. You just told Huncho he was the man. Then you'll get on here and then you'll be speaking facts over here, but you'll get over there and say, let Huncho smoke weed. But then you'll get over here and be like, hey, if you smoking weed, you fucking up the bag. Which one is it, Anton?
Well, no, that's not true logic. So here's the thing. We talking about two different issues, right? Over there, we talking mainly about relationships. Over here, we talking about business and money. So it's a completely different conversation. If people calling about their jobs, right, I'm going to say, hey, listen, you need to do it differently, play it a little differently, so on and so forth. If we over there and we talking about relationships, it's a completely different context. And so we gotta source out what the problem is. Over here is an individual problem. Over there is more of a collective problem.
But I think the two plays the same role. What you state over here, it plays a major part in what we talking about when we talking about relationships. If you're sitting here saying that the niggas is broke, all they
No,
cars
I ain't saying
getting
nobody is broke over here.
No. I ain't talking to niggas in the chat. I'm talking about the sources you use.
Uh-huh.
You saying niggas is broke. They got their make 30. They getting evicted from their house. Their cars getting repossessed. But you'll go over there and tell a woman that she need to follow him. Why would you follow a broke ass nigga for?
Because that's the person.
If a majority of the
Nah, Logic is. You know why? Because you can't open up your legs to the person that you shouldn't follow. She can't have a kid by the nigga and then say, "But I don't follow him." Get back with your baby daddy. That's fair, right? Because if he was good enough to open up your legs to and have a kid with, now you talking about he an ain't shit nigga. Nah, he was an ain't shit dude before you opened up your legs to him, and you already knew that. He ain't just become that. And so we got to hold the people responsible for opening up their legs to the thing that they already knew wasn't going to be with them in the first place, right? But if you talking about on an individual level, when you come to me and say, yo, Anton, I need to, you know what I'm saying, it's fucked up out here or whatever, then I'm going to hold you accountable on a personal level for your own situation. Every situation is different, right? And so when we talking about getting to the bag, I don't want people to be dependent on a company in order to fix themselves. I want them to be successful. I want them to have multiple streams of income. I don't want them to dependent on a fucking union in order to get their lifestyle right. But then if we talking about on a relationships spectrum, yo, if it's a chick that said, yo, I don't have no kids, I ain't got no problems, I ain't had no smoke for that chick that was arguing with Honcho. Except for what she said about that particular subject. I ain't had no smoke for her. You know why? Because she said, I ain't got no kids. I ain't got no baby daddy. I ain't got no time. I ain't fucking up out here. I'm this and I'm that, and I've been running the checkup, right? So I just left her alone. But if she was to say, yo, I'm a single baby mama and I'm out here giving advice on how you should date, I got to bring you to the front of the congregation. You don't know what the fuck you talking about.
Yeah. But see, the thing is that the point I'm making is she opened her leg to an ain't shit nigga. But the message still remains. He's an ain't shit nigga.
Correct.
The problem what we say is when you do the stories and then I don't be able to come in, you know what I'm saying, on your shows, but I be at the work computer, I be checking your sources though. You pretty solid. I'm gonna give you that. But you gotta sit here and say, if it's a 60% of population of ain't shit niggas, right?
Nope, 20.
And then you said 20% of ain't shit niggas?
20.
Nah, you full of shit.
20%.
Nah, it's more than that.
I don't think so.
So you telling me it's only 20% of ain't shit niggas?
It is. It's a small minority of people that's the loudest and it's fucking up the community. And that's in every group. In every group, there's a small minority. The minority is the ones that fuck it up for the majority. In every group.
But for the most part, that's true. But we can sit here and say in a black community that the percentage of ain't shit niggas is higher than the average. Yeah,
it's higher than the average, but I don't think it's higher than the 20%. I think it's lower than 20%.
So you saying it's only and I agree with you to an extent. I think that our black culture get its identity from the minority.
Of course.
So our identity comes from the Sexy Reds, the Cardi B's, even though that motherfucker ain't even black, but I don't know. She got our black card. So, you know what I'm saying? We get our representation. That's why people stereotype us. Not because of the majority. They stereotype us from minority, but I agree with you, with the loudest voice. But the problems that you display on this channel is not just geared to the minority. It's geared to, I say, a super
on
majority.
This channel or the other channel?
This channel. Now, the other channel, you be simping, but they'll call me the simp.
I'll be simping?
Boy, you be simping like fuck.
I don't be simping at all. I don't simp.
Bro, look,
it's
just that they don't call you simping because you simping for the dudes.
How do you simp for men? Logic, you can't simp for men.
Bro, you know damn well Honcho looked like he broke as fuck. Honcho looked like he do rap videos in that green screen. You know this. We can tell the signs.
You can't judge a person just based off of, all we have to go by is the information that they provide us. What he was speaking on was those subjects. I don't know what his situation is. I can't judge him based off of him having a green screen in the back. I can't go by that. Now, if Honcho said, I got 5 baby mamas, then now we going to have a different conversation. I can't judge him based off of him having a green screen in the back. Honcho may be busting down bags.
Man, Honcho can't spell a bag. What the fuck?
Yes, he can. Honcho was cooking. Y'all not giving him his props.
Honcho, bro, but see, this what I'm saying. Honcho ran around here with them fucking them wicks in his head, looking like he got them in a Zopal. And you know what I'm saying? And I didn't see you say a different message on this channel about the niggas that look like that.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. But that's not, but see, I can't.
But you get Honcho a pass.
Yeah, because we're not talking, but that's on this channel. We talking about representation and you going to get a job and all of that, right? We not talking about that on that. We was talking purely about relationships. Now, on a relationship perspective, he was right. He was right. He was right 10 times out of 10. He was absolutely accurate.
Man, that dude Honcho ain't right, man. Look,
he was right.
Look,
he might have been a little high, but he was right.
Nigga, Honcho, his house was hot.
Honcho is cooking. I might have to give Honcho. I might have to give him his own show. I gotta figure that out, bro.
All right. I had to come up here and give your goddamn flowers on this channel right here. But if y'all come to the Monday show, y'all gonna see Anton capping like hell. So hey, salute my nigga.
All right, Logic, thanks, bro. Logic is crazy. Oh my God. Let me see. Should I take some more callers or should I wrap it up? Q, I didn't see him smoking the whole show. I have no idea what Q is talking about right now. No idea what Q is talking about right now. Alex, you want to be on camera or off camera? Thumbs up for on camera. Thumbs down for off camera. You up? All right, so let me go ahead and bring Alex. Let's see what we got. Alex, what's happening, big dog? I can't hear you. You muted. You say you muted yourself. All right, what's going on, Alex?
Good.
Alex, where you from?
Hold on.
You said what now?
I'm kind of hearing what's on the back.
Yeah, your audio is kind of messed up, big dog.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's kind of really messed up.
What about now?
I can hear you. What's the word?
Cool. This is Alex. Yeah, I'm good. I'm from California, LA. So,
all right, what's your thoughts, Alex? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I want to address two things. You know, the opera thing and also the Chicago, what's going on down there. Now, first and foremost, Oprah, she doesn't have to give anybody shit. You understand? I understand where people are coming from. You know, people don't like her because she was friends with the pedophiles and all that. Sorry for using that word. She was friends with all these people that, you know, the criminals in Hollywood and all that. And she's rich, you understand? But Oprah doesn't have to give anybody anything. Like, for real, she doesn't owe anybody anything. People should stop counting her back, you understand? She came out, said, okay, this is what she wants to do. And she was criticized for it. Now, let me tell you what the problem is. Corporations were trying to buy up land in Hawaii, you understand? At the same time, Oprah came around. So people tended to because people were trying to buy up land, real estate agencies were trying to buy people's lands from them, you know?
Hold on, your audio is like really low, really low. It's really low. Do me a favor, see if you can come back, go leave, and then come back in and see if you can fix your audio, and then I'm gonna bring you back up, okay?
Okay.
All right. Ty, thumbs up if you want to be on camera, thumbs down if you want to be off camera. I can't see your thumbs, Ty. Okay, you want to be on camera. All right, let me get you in here, Ty. What up, Ty?
Hey, what up, Ton?
Chilling, my friend. What's the word?
Hey, so look, I sent you a couple of emails, and I ain't trying to be a bugaboo, man, but I spoke to you probably like 3 weeks ago when I first heard your show. So can you
I
listen
remember
to
you.
can you listen to my 6-year plan and tell me how it sounds to you?
Let me hear it.
All right, so look, I make like 160 a year.
Is that net or is that gross?
That's net.
Okay, so that's after all expenses. You make 160.
Yeah, I'll probably make more like 260, but after everything's said and done, I keep like 170, like 170 of it.
So
But
after your expenses, you keep in between 160, 170.
Yeah.
Got you.
But I run a business, so half of that got to go back into the business. But I'll be out of debt by 2025. So by the beginning of
Wait. Let's stop there. So you making like $250,000 a year.
Basically, yep.
And then is that half of that going back into the business, or is half of after you take home whatever it is that you're taking home?
So all that debt that's included, I got 2 trucks that I run, and then I got a mortgage. My wife, we just had a baby.
No. Hold on. I'm just talking about purely from a business perspective. So this is what I'm asking you. The 260.
260.
Where is that 100,000 that you going? That's going. That gives you 160. Where the 100,000 go?
Oh, like shit. What do you, I don't understand what you're saying.
So you gross 260, you take home 160. Where did the other 100,000 go?
Oh, back into my business.
Okay, so that's the part that you're saying goes back into your business.
Yeah, I probably put about 80,000 in back into my business.
Okay.
80 to 100.
Okay, cool. So now you taking home 160, 170 after expenses.
Correct.
So that's 100% yours. You ain't got to spend that on the business, right?
No, I do got to put that back into the business.
What do you mean? You already put 80 to 100 into the business.
All right, you confusing me. So look, last year I made 250. I kept 170. Okay. Out of that 170, that's pretty much like all my bills and everything because it goes back into my business.
What goes back into your business?
Like all my bills together, like my wife, my kids.
That's not business. Those aren't business expenses. That's what I'm saying. You conflating the two. You're saying I got to put stuff back into my business, wife, kids, and all of that. Those are not business expenses. Those are personal expenses.
Okay. So your business and me are separate. I get that part, but what I'm telling you, all my bills, at the end of the day, I'm left with 160 to 170. But I got a lot of bills. Does that make sense?
No. Because you're not separating the business from the personal. You conflating the two. So what? Okay, so this is what I'm saying. If I'm running my content creation company, right, and I make $250,000 a year, right. Everything related to keeping this business running, if I got to pay talent, if I got to make sure that I buy cameras, if I got to pay the rent for this office, if I got to get wardrobe, if I have to get have cars taking people back and forth, whatever it is that I got to deal with as far as talent, let's say that I bring somebody in, I fly somebody in, and I got to pay for their hotel room. In order to operate this business, right, let's say it takes me $100,000 in expenses in order to do so. So now my profit, I may gross $250,000, but my profit is only $150,000 after the expenses for the business. Now, my lifestyle, let's say I want to go and do some fun stuff. I want to go and do the cha-cha. I want to go get some side hoes. I want to go and throw some money in the strip club. That's personal. That has nothing to do with the business. So what I'm asking you to do is you have to separate what your business expenses are from your personal expenses in order to get a clearer picture of what your lifestyle really look like so that we can then break it down of how it is that you need to be operating from a business perspective. You understand what I'm saying now?
I do.
Okay, so now, do you want to send me an email and then I have it at the top of my list and then we can go over this personally so we can start to mine that out? Or do you still want to go through on this particular platform and have this conversation right now?
I would rather do it behind
Okay, just send me
closed doors,
an
if that
email.
makes sense.
Send me an email so I can have it at the top of my list, and I'm a
I
priority.
have.
I got you, but I got it's a list.
So,
I just can't jump you past everybody else. Just send me an email. I'm gonna prioritize you,
and I
Ty.
get
Ty. Send me an email. I'm gonna have it at the top of my list. I'm gonna write you down. I'm gonna prioritize it, and I'm gonna kick it with you personally. Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right, my friend. Doug, are you there? I don't see you on camera to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Let me see if I can get Doug in here. Give me a second. Doug, you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm guessing that you want to be off camera.
No, not this time. Not this time. Next time. A little messy around here.
No, I'm saying that you do want to be off camera, right?
Off. Yeah, off, please.
Turn your mic down a little bit. Can you turn your mic down a little bit?
1 second. How's that?
Sounds all right. Go ahead, Doug. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, sorry about that. So
it's a little loud. Your mic is a little loud, but it's okay. We're gonna work for it.
All right, so how's this right there? Is that a little better?
I mean, it's fine. Let's go ahead and get to it. What's the word?
All right, cool. So 2 things. With the Oprah thing. Haven't been too satisfied with the takes I've been hearing. And I don't see how people can be upset with someone.
Do me a favor. Just back away from the mic just a little bit, Doug.
How's this now?
Go ahead.
How about now?
Go ahead. I got you.
All right.
Ty,
So
I just got your email. I'm looking at your email right now, Ty. Go ahead.
All right. So with this Oprah thing here, I don't know. Most people are mad because their read is, oh, how can someone with X amount of money to ask me to donate? I'm poor, which that is what it is. But I think that take's wrong. My take is that her strategy is wrong. And it's one thing if a company asks you to donate, right? There's no face. There's no wealth assessment behind that. People know, Oprah's a billionaire or whatever she is. I think if she wanted to put her and The Rock wanted to put her name behind it, I felt like they should have done like a price match. $1 for every $1 that's contributed, we'll put $1 or something like that.
So you don't agree with Oprah and what she did at all, correct?
I disagree with her strategy. I don't disagree with her intention.
You disagree with how she executed her strategy?
Yes.
Why?
Because, well, people have a flawed way of perceiving donations, right? And yes, people are in their emotions regarding this thing, but donations and charity events are driven off of emotions, so you got to play into that. And I think I don't know, this is hindsight 2020 right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you're going to put your name as a celebrity, a rich celebrity behind a charity, I don't know, the short video I saw was her and The Rock standing on the cliffside. Hey, y'all need to donate, blah, blah, blah. I think a different strategy a better strategy would have been like, hey, for every $1 you donate, we'll donate $1 or $2 or whatever it is. And a lot of people don't know about the $10 million that her and The Rock donated out the gate. And so now we have this fake backlash here with that. But
okay, I mean, you basically just saying that her execution could have been different. I mean, I can't say that you're wrong or right about that. I mean, that's cool. I don't necessarily have a problem with that.
I'm opening my laptop. How's the mic now? Because I feel like you're not hearing.
I'm hearing. Oh, trust me, we're hearing you really, really well. Your mic is loud.
I'm gonna watch this back and see what you mean, but
no, that's cool. You good? So okay, so you think that she should have did it? Her execution had been a little bit different. Okay, I got you. What's your next point?
All right, so back to the college tuition video you played earlier today. Can I get your? Can you, I guess, get your take on that segment? Because I want to make sure I come at you correctly on your position on that.
Men tend to make smarter decisions when it comes to choosing a profession, and from a financial perspective, they are taking out less student loans. Women tend to take out more student loans. Men tend to work while they're in college. Women tend to take out more student loans than they pick degrees and programs. That's not necessarily yielding results or making money as a result of it. That was generally my sentiment.
There was another sentiment that you disagreed with, though, and it was
what was that?
It was that women are, killing it, quote unquote, and
that women say that they killing it. They say that they're more educated than men. They say that their brains develop faster, that they're smarter than men. But often at times, the results say that that's not necessarily true.
Okay, cool. Which I don't think that statement's is a bit overkill for sure, but. Okay, so yes, women, I think there is a tendency for women to pick shit, degrees or whatnot, non-STEM degrees. And obviously STEM degrees are what, pay the bills or whatnot. So you're going to see that, you're going to see the data skew in that way. As far as general financial decision-making goes, I don't know if we have the data to support that, but
what do you mean? You can't use people's own personal situation in order to extrapolate the information and then make an assessment based off of that?
I mean, it was like four people, right?
Well, the stats say that women are the most enrolled and also the most in debt, and they're the ones that didn't determine they were swing vote to determine who it was that was going to get in office based off of the different issues and the things that was most meaningful to them, including student loan forgiveness. We can't use that data and we can't use that information in order to draw a conclusion.
Okay, so there's more female heads in there, and I that makes sense. I'm trying to think where I was going with that, but I think the conception of women are killing it and that they are smarter or whatnot. I think that's because, we see more women heads in the education system. But the point that I wanted to get to was that for the women that do actually take the STEM field and can break that threshold, that barrier, I think they do a bit better than like the average male.
It's not natural to them.
Exactly. So
it's not natural for them to inherently pick it for themselves. They have to be incentivized in order to do so. Women in tech, women in STEM, we got to give them these incentive programs. We got to do all of that stuff in order to get them over in that. But that's not naturally what they're picking from themselves because that's not inherently who they are. Women don't tend to pick fields that then require them to be able to use their brain in the same way that men do.
No, exactly. And what I'm saying is if you go as a woman, if you go through the extra measure to go through that thing which is not natural, I feel like that in of it's having that extra drive in of itself puts you above, I would say, an average dude who might have,
Nope.
You don't think so?
Because then you have to judge yourself by the average person that's in your field, not necessarily just people in general. I'll give you an example. I can evaluate myself, anybody in America, right? Any man, let's say you make $40,000, $50,000 a year. And you can say, I can evaluate myself based off of a worldwide basis. Based off of how it is that I make money and what my lifestyle is like here in America, I'm better than the majority of the world. I'm better than the world, right? Because on average, Americans make way more money than the rest of the world.
Okay.
So how is it any different, right? You evaluate yourself based off of the field in which you inhabit, right? The study in which you then become a part of. You don't evaluate yourself based off of the lowest common denominator. You have to evaluate yourself based off of your competition. And so your competition isn't the same anymore once you get into that field, which is why women still complain that they don't make as much money as men, because the argument then changed. Well, now you got to start to look at the inherent characteristics of what these women are and why they're not making as much money. It's not that you're a woman. It means that you're more agreeable. You're less likely to walk away. You're less likely to be able to ask for a raise because men tend to be more aggressive, right? Your inherent nature means that you're still going to be behind the 8 ball unless somebody else incentivizes you to do something different. Men tend to get more coaching. Women don't, right? Women tend to get more coaching when it comes to relationships. Men don't necessarily care. So you got to understand female nature. You got to understand the nature of humans, and then you evaluate yourself based off of your competition, not necessarily based off of your circumstances.
Okay, so my take on that is, for the women that do break that barrier and go into the STEM fields and find some level of success, if they have the hardware per se to, thrive in those fields, women, and you might disagree on this, but I feel like women have quote unquote more soft skills, and obviously when they're interacting with other dudes, they might just have that extra, I guess, not gravity, but people will naturally attract themselves to, it's a hot chick or whatever.
So why do they make less money
in those fields?
Yes. And that's a fact. That's not even my opinion. That's a fact. Why do they make less money if they have soft skills? They have better soft skills.
Yeah, I can't answer that right now. And I'm not really thinking about the money making aspect of it. And maybe that's what matters more. But I'm thinking just like, I just think they have more tools. You know what I mean? Like they have the soft skills, and then they have the extra hardware capacity that's needed for those jobs per se. Now, the money making aspect might come from like maternity leave and all that good stuff. And I've been in situations where I've made more than my female counterpart. But I'm just saying, I guess, going back to my experience, I think that if you can, for the women that do make it to those fields, just in my opinion, just have more tools cognitively. Now, I do think the highest performers are dudes for sure. But yeah, that's just my take. I think I just thought there was more nuance on that subject per se.
I got you.
So not like a hard disagreement per se, but I think there's just more interesting stuff going on there when we talk about like men versus women, and STEM fields, or obviously we're talking about student debt or whatnot. But yeah, women there isn't a shortage of like women taking shit, and dudes too. But obviously women tend to outnumber the men in the art fields, which damn, they need to die, man. I don't know, or just I don't know. Stop telling people you can make a living and pay off $200,000 of debt with this degree.
I got you. I appreciate you. Thank you, Doug.
All right, thanks. I'll come back on with the better mic and stuff.
Absolutely.
And a camera.
You're welcome anytime, my friend.
All right, take it easy.
Let me get Kobe in here. Kobe, you want to be on camera or off camera? Give me a thumbs up for on camera, thumbs down for off camera. Hold on, Kobe. Let me see something. Give me a second. Let me make sure that I got you right. Kobe, you want to be on camera or off camera? Kobe. Kobe is over there eating and having a whole conversation. What you got going on over there, Kobe? Look at this. What are you doing, Kobe? Kobe is working. Kobe over there working. Let me go ahead and wrap this up. Listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you. You guys are amongst the best audience on earth. Let me read these super chats, and then we're going to get on up out of here. First and foremost, shout out to Jumps. Says these morning shows are on point, but the likes is low. I agree. I ain't even going to ask y'all to hit a like for the algorithm no more. Shout out to Elizabeth. Elizabeth says, I have student loans I will be done paying off in March 2024, and I'm a travel nurse. Shout out to all of my babies out there that's getting to that bag, running the checkup. I appreciate you, love, and thank you for continuing to support the platform. Greg Charlie says, most of the demands of the UAW are strictly negotiation tactics. The main goal is to get a slight pay raise to match inflation and to eliminate the tiers. They work those tiers to people like dogs 6 to 7 days of the week with no end. Shout out to my dog, Greg Charlie. I appreciate you for coming on the platform too also, my friend. Jasmine 4517 says, Anton, I just hosted an MS Teams meeting with them shareholders for an hour and a half, and you still live. I'm ready to be a bag chaser. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Shout out to the bag chasers. I appreciate you. Jake Smooth Appreciate the conversation this morning. Also, I just emailed you. Shout out to my dog, Jake Smooth, for emailing me in the conversation this morning. Double R Quake says, great show. Thank you, Double R. I appreciate you. You know I got your back. My dog, King Collins, says, have to handle business. Couldn't stay in the background any longer. Excellent show per usual. Thank you, my friend, for continuing to hold me down. I was going to get you up, Colin, but you know how it is. I'll be having to make sure that the people get their points off. Messy, says Anton. Pass the hot sauce over here. Can I get a sponsorship from Red Hot or no? Can I get a sponsorship from Red Hot or no? Shout out to Messy Mathematician. My dog, Tony Williams, is in the building, says, I got love for Logic, but he be tweaking sometimes. Shout out to Logic. Shout out to my dog, Logic. All right, so listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for coming on a Friday and yesterday. I like to get y'all perspective and to hear what y'all got to say throughout the show. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you for rocking out with me. Fight Club is tonight, starting at 11:45 p.m. Eastern. And we rocking out on Fight Club. That's going to absolutely be lit, boy. Fight Club is going to be lit tonight. So I don't even know what the subjects are going to be, but they're going to be up. If you have not ever visited Fight Club, we do it all night. It's like a 12-hour show, but we have 4 different subjects, 4 different live streams, 10 over the weekend, 4 on Friday, 4 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, and we run it up. If you are not familiar with it, just type "This is Fight Club" inside of your search bar. Type "This is Fight Club" inside of the search bar, and you're going to be able to find it. Shout out to my dog, Class E Beats, in the building. Hold on. Let me make sure that I give an acknowledgement to my dog, MC. 25-year retired Teamster. I get it. He said, I get it. My dog, Class E Beats, is in the building. Shout out to Class E Beats. Make sure that y'all go and subscribe to his channel. Class E Beats is lit. AD, is there any way to book an emergency coaching call? I'm making so many moves, and things are moving fast right now. I would love and appreciate your insight. Appreciate you, G. You just got to email me, Class E Beats, and then I'm going to try to convince Rita to get you in my schedule. Class E Beats. Shout out to you for making moves. Greg Charlie says, when is the next Detroit meetup? I had a Detroit meetup at MGM Grand. I don't know. MGM Grand just had a recent hat, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be in D.C. November 4th. I'm going to try to make it out to L.A. after that. And then we're going to try to hit Detroit when it get a little bit warmer out in these streets. You know what I'm saying? So for everybody that want to meet me in D.C., I'm going to be in D.C. on November 4th. Make sure that you go inside of the Patreon and let me know that you're going to be there in the most recent post. And we're going to get it rocking. Shout out to my dog, Greg Charlie, in the building. I appreciate you, big dog. And that's that. So listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you. If you need to get in touch with me for any kind of business, email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Azriel just put it inside of the chat. Also, on top of that, get that Teach Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Island Girl Q says, are we doing a New Year's Eve meetup like we did in Miami? Q, you was there in Miami? We might do a New Year's Eve meetup. I got to see the pulse, get the pulse of the people. Because if we do a New Year's Eve meetup, it got to be somewhere warm. It's got to be somewhere warm. I anticipated going to Hawaii, but then they had the wildfires, and y'all start hating on Oprah. So now I'm not going to be in Hawaii for New Year's Eve this year. So I don't know. It's got to be somewhere warm. We did Miami last year. Maybe we can head over to San Diego or LA or something like that. I don't know, Q. We got to kick it. Listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for continuing to rock with me. Shout out to my dog, Ray. Says, I need a coaching call so we can donate like Oprah. Shout out to Ray. Ray. What up, though? Listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you. I'm going to be in touch with Q so she can tell me where it is that we supposed to do our next meetup outside of D.C. I love you. I appreciate you. But I need you to do me one more favor before we get up out of here. Yeah. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love you. I appreciate you. And I will see you on Fight Club tonight. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.